What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience. You already know it's your boy Arthur Moats, and we got another good one playing for you today. Shout out, man. Obviously, man, we're gonna get a chance to talk some of these D-line prospects, right? Potentially some dudes that we might target in the first round, make this roster better. Also, gonna jump on the call with one of my homies, man, one of my JMU guys, and a, Western Pennsylvania high school football guy in the sense of Ben DiNucci, man. Obviously, when they played at Pine Richland, man, been around the league for a little while now, man. So gonna, like I said, talk to him for a little bit. And then we got to open up some phone lines today too, baby. Come on now, phone lines will be open because, man, we got plenty to talk about. I need to get y'all thoughts, throw some more and more on what y'all doing with the quarterback scenario since we got new reports. Shout out to Jay Glazer. We got new reports, right? So we're going to get your thoughts on that. But we also got to know who y'all like in the Super Bowl as well. The big game, the 59th Super Bowl. So, we're going to talk about all of that today, baby. But let me get this out on the front end because you see the logo above the boy's shoulder. So that can only mean one thing. What's up, baby? Today's show is sponsored by Southern New Hampshire University. Yeah. We talking about proper preparation. We're talking about trying to be better at life. How can we improve, right? Whether we're talking about just as an individual, how do we improve if we're talking about in the job space? I mean, whether we're talking about just all the different ways to be prepared for the next step, for that next task. Southern New Hampshire University and some of these online degree programs that they are offering. Come on, baby. You can't beat this. And they have super competitive low tuition rates that are, like I said, going to prepare you for whatever your next steps might be as it pertains to your professional career. It's not too late. I mean, shoot, what you waiting on? I mean, you're watching me, but what you waiting on? Come on, man. You see the link right there, right? snhu.edu/Arthur Moats. Tap in and go out here and get a chance to prepare yourself for greatness. But now it's time for regularly scheduled programming. All righty. Like you said, man, sometimes you got to pay the bills, all right? Shout out to paying the bills, man. We appreciate them over there. Believe that. But yeah, man, like I said, man, got plenty that we're going to chop it up and get into today. And like I said, man, at that 4:30 time frame, man, I'm going to hit the homie up, Ben DiNucci, man. We'll get him up here and have a little bit of fun on today's show. So don't forget to hit that like button one time for the culture. And of course, don't forget to subscribe either if you are new to the channel, baby. Yeah, let's get it. Oh, and shout out to y'all in the chat too, man. I saw y'all on the early vibe. Y'all caught me, right? I was over here like, yo, let me throw up the logo. Let me throw up the title, the description. And it definitely had With Deke up there. I had just copied and pasted one of the OG voice. And y'all were fast on it. I saw you. I was like, hey, he's back. I saw the hope. I saw the optimism. Salute to y'all for catching that though, all right? Because if y'all ain't say that, I definitely wouldn't even thought nothing. I was like, oh, I guess I do got the raw graphic up there. Whoopsie daisy. Richard Arbizo said he screenshotted it. Yeah, when I seen it, I was like, oh, shoot. Yeah, I guess the last time we did do this, last Thursday, he was in the building. So, yeah, but all good, all love. Like you said, man, no hard feelings, no ill will, just life. You know how that goes, baby. You know how that goes. But with that being the case, like I said, man, it's going to be a good one. We're going to have some fun with this day, man. But let me know where y'all tuning in from, man. Let's start the thing like how we do, all right? And no Rod Dollars. Deke didn't get traded like Luka. It was a difference. Luka got shipped out, all right? I got left. I got dumped. It's a difference. I'm throwing that out there, all right? I got dumped. Luka got gone. So don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you do that. I'm an innocent bystander. All I do is just, what they say? Bruce Lee said, be like water. I'm just flowing, all right? I'm here, up, all right, here, up, all right, here. That's all I want, all right? Yeah, don't put none of that ill will on me, no, baby, no. But either way, man, gotta have fun with life. And that's the one thing that I will constantly tell y'all, man. And that's kind of the temperament that y'all see even when we're talking about X's and O's, playing wins and losses. Like, yeah, regardless of what we might think is good or bad, there's always pros and cons to every decision, every situation. And it's all about how you react to it, and yeah, all you can do is just keep the energy right, keep moving, man. One step at a time, baby. One step at a time. But let's see, man. They got the homie Harley Taylor rocking out in the 417 Gainesville, Missouri, baby. Love for Moats. No, I got love for you too, Harley. How about that? The Don Hefe Quan rocking out the 323 Watts, California. And he says, hit that like button. Well, hey, if you don't do it for me, do it for the homie, the Don Hefe Kwan. Now we got Leah Warren in the 254, Killeen, Texas, always rocking out. Shout out. And she says, Deeks the new John Easton. Yeah, man. We lost John Easton in 2024. We done lost Deke in 2025. This is crazy. It's craziness, man. But it's like that, bro. It be like that sometimes. All righty, let's see who else we got rocking out. Chloe Smith in the 527 Iowa. Shout out to Iowa and specifically the Iowa Hawkeyes, man. We know that Caitlin Clark had her jersey retired the other night, and they had the big upset on the women's basketball side, knocking off USC. So shout out to them. Jay Farrell in the 213 Koreatown, California. Shout out to Koreatown, baby. Appreciate you rocking out with me today. Oh, the Bro-Barian is in the building. Now it's a party. The Bro-Barian rocking out in Chesapeake, Virginia, the crib. Oh, and yeah, shout out to the OG time slot for Thursdays. Like we said, man, Mondays and Wednesdays are in prime time now. All right, 8 p.m. starts. 8 p.m. starts. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Or you can check us out on Instagram, man, where we'll be constantly putting up the different show times and just the clips and highlights from the shows going forward at Arthur Moats Experience, all right, on Instagram, all right, Arthur Moats Experience. So just so y'all know, tell a friend, pass it around. 8 p.m. on Mondays and Wednesdays, 4 p.m. on Thursdays, all right? And shout out to the homie X Concept, says the party don't start till Moats is live. Shout out to the gang, all right? It don't feel right until y'all pop up, and then I'm like, okay, that's the homie. Okay, that's the homie. Hey, that's the homie. So salute to all of y'all rocking out, man, from the heart. And I ended with the homie Kenneth Moses in the 757. Salute from Virginia Beach. And he says he's checking in, though, from the 202. Shout out. All right. I like it. Yeah, man. I was trying to figure out which topic to start with because, you know, you show prep and you play it, and then I was like, man, all right, I got my D-line topic. I'm ready on them. And then we get the Jay Glazer report. I'm like, oh, this is spicy, huh? Now, Jay done talked about the QB, man. Daggone. Jay said he was texting. Jay said he was texting the big dog. He was texting Coach T. You know, it's only one other dog bigger than him, and that's Mr. Roney. I said, hold on now. I said, man, as much as I want to talk to these D-linemen, boys, as much as I want to talk to these prospects, in media broadcast boot camp, you know, they teach you that in NFL. They say, hey, don't bury the lead now. Don't bury the lead. They say when the story is there and it's ready for you, you're supposed to take it. That's what they say, you're supposed to take it. I'm over here looking, I'm like, hey, Jay, you really talking, Jay? I like when you talk like that, Jay. I like when you talk. Because it was pretty spicy. But y'all let me know your thoughts though on it, man. Jay Glazer, for those that don't know, man, he was at the Super Bowl doing media availability, making his runs like he always does. Shout out to Jay, he's a big wig. But basically had said that, you know, he was texting with Coach Tomlin, man, and some of the way that he was communicating, you know, or in terms of Jay, the way that Jay was communicating, who he thinks the Steelers are going to go with quarterback-wise, he was pretty much like, yo, Russ, nah, not happening. And he was almost ready to do the same to Justin Fields, but then he kind of like walked it back just a smidget. But he was kind of like, yo, they think definitely Russ out of here. And he was quick on the Fields too. All right. But I was like, oh, hold on now. Now, this is very different information when you're talking about what the homie Mr. Roney said, right? Shout out to the boss man, the big boss. The big boss did say that both of them dudes he was undecided on. He liked both of them. He could see both of them being priorities of why we want them back. And he didn't think that both would come back, but he wants at least one of those guys to return. So I'm like, when I hear the Jay Glaze, I'm like, ooh, Jay, you talking spicy, Jay. Ooh. I mean, I like it. Because if it is real, then, you know, I just like the fact that we got some conviction with the decision. I just like the fact that, you know, he's actually saying what he means and means what he says, man. But if that's not the case, then it's kind of like, all right, Jay, man, you play with fire, man, dropping that type of heat like that, man, because everybody's, you know, going to have an opinion on it. Everybody's going to react to it when you say, yeah, Russ, that definitely ain't coming back. And then the way you act about Phil was like, yeah, that ain't coming back either. He's like, oh. So that is going to be interesting, though, man. But at the same time, I'm just like, yo, I know Jay Glazer does have a relationship with Coach Simon. That is nothing new. I mean, them dudes have been boys. Shoot, even when I was playing, man, Jay Glazer would pop up at training camp. Like, that's not foreign. And we know that those two dudes do talk and communicate, man. And Jay has been, in the know on certain things. So part of me is like, all right, now, Jay, if you saying this, you're getting info from one of them two dudes, right? But at the same time, it's like, I know what the big man said, right? Because you was texting Coach T. Coach T get his check cut by the big dog, Mr. Roney. Mr. Roney said both of these dudes consider it. And that was just, 2 weeks ago, if that? So now I'm over here like, all right, what we got? Is it real? Is it not? But that's the part that's exciting to me, man. So we will see. But, dude, that's what Jay said. I'm like, for you to say that on a national platform like that, you got to really feel good about your information. And for you to name drop Coach Tomlin on top of that, that allows dudes like me to be able to react to it, to be able to have that, whoa, okay. So you put a name on it. But you got to let me know your thoughts on that, though, man. Gotta let me get your thoughts on that one, because to me, that changes some things, man. If we already got this decision where it's no to Russ and feels the way that Jay was communicating, it seemed like it was a no for him as well. Well, now I'm like, all right, are we really about to go draft something in the first? Like, what's the plan here? I know some people have brought up Will Howard. When I talked to today going TG about Jalen Milroe, that's a guy I thought we should get in the second. But to him, he feels like that's the first round guy. So I'm over here like, all right, maybe y'all saying we got to go get one in the first. Is that the plan now? Because I'm open to that if that is the case. But I do think that probably is the most risky decision in terms of immediate success and long-term plan than the Justin Fields approach, the Russell Wilson approach, or any of these potential free agent or quarterbacks you might try to trade for approach. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Knowing Coach T, I'm like, man, Coach T don't be talking like that, though. Like, he be keeping that kind of close with that. But it is Jay Glazer. And that's the part. I'm like, Jay, he do know the man. Like, I know y'all know each other. I know y'all boys. Like, I don't know the origin of the relationship, but I'm like, y'all homies, man. We get it. So when certain people say certain things, the antennas do pop up because of that. And that's kind of where I'm at with it right now. Because, yeah, prior to that, I'm like, okay, it sounds like they're still in limbo about which one they want to go with between Russ and Fields. But the new info off of Jay Glazer seems as if, like we said, man, we're going in a way different direction than what the assumption was 2 weeks ago. But you guys let me know your thoughts, though, how y'all would feel if that was the case. If we were going to go and just completely overhaul draft, right? Go draft something. Russ nor Fields are back. What does that look like to you guys? Who would that guy that you would want to have in the first round? I know we've talked Will Howard. Some people like Will. Some people don't like Will. We brought up Jalen Milroe. Some people like Milroe. Some people don't like Milroe. We obviously were talking about Joe Milton. What was that last night? Yeah, TG and me were talking about him last night. Obviously, when you think about Joe Milton, we know that's the big unicorn, 6'5", 246. But at the same time, it's still question marks about, can that thing play quarterback all the way? So now when I'm sitting here talking about this day going, putting all your eggs in the draft basket to hit it on a quarterback, I'm just like, I don't know if that's the approach we really want to take right now. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that could backfire a lot worse. You know what I mean? Like with Fields, like, yo, yeah, is there a chance that Fields can completely go belly up? Yes. It could look like Chicago. Yes, absolutely. But I still feel like, yo, that I can still work with a lot more than potentially one of these young college kids, man, that we don't have a clue on in terms of how they're going to translate or their growing pains, right? When they handle their adversity, how do they handle that adversity? All of those things that we'll be trying to figure out. I'm trying to see, like, yo, what would that even look like, you know? Let's see what the homie Malvo does it. He says, sounds like a narrative. Seems like they don't want Russ to cook. When he cooks so much, they had told him to stop. Let Russ cook. Bring him up field or bring him and Fields back, run it back. Nah, shout out to Malvo does it. And I don't know if y'all saw some of those reports as well, but they were also some reports about when Russ had control versus when, you know, there could have been some tension with the coordinator and a little bit of a power struggle on availability to check plays and stuff like that. Those are some of the reports that are also coming out, man. So it's interesting. It's getting real interesting in that room, because if that is the case, right? And obviously this is still very speculative, but if that is the case, now we like, okay, well, would that have looked differently? Could that have looked differently? Those are the questions, man. But until we get some hard facts one way or the other, we all just kind of looking at it and kind of just taking our approach to it. And depending on what we feel about either party in it, it's kind of going to shape which way we want to lean with it, right? If we want to believe that, man, Russ is washed, then we're going to say, man, nah, Russ was doing what Russ was doing. He had full control. This is what it was. It is what it is. If you're a person that's like, yo, man, that didn't look right, then you're going to listen and say, well, you know what? That does make sense that Russ couldn't check that play. That does make sense. They wanted to run it first. Because when I think about that Bengals game, the first one, yeah. He was scraping the pot. That's how you cook it. It sound good, look even better. But then, you talk about the last five, and we like, hey, bro. Say, bro. Hey, come real quick, man. Is your name Russ or is your name Russell? Which one am I getting today? All right. I like Russ on the field. I don't want Russell on the field. I want Russ. All right. Let Russ cook, not let Russell cook. It's how I be feeling at times. So could be interesting, man. Could be interesting. But we shall see. We shall see. But those are the things, man, to start it off. I was like, man, all right. Okay. This is interesting. Shout out to Jay Glazer, though, man. I said, I don't know if Jay just trying to, set a little fire and then walk up off that thing, or if he really got some info and this is, his version of being Coach Tomlin's voice to the public without having, in terms of Coach Tomlin, without having to publicly come out and say something. Man, speak through your friends. Speak through your guys that have, voices in the media and stuff like that. That could be the approach, but we shall see. We shall see, man. But yeah, I was definitely surprised by that though, man. I was like, all right, okay. Shout out to the homies though. All right. It looks like we got a couple supers that have come in as well. And y'all hit that like button too on the front end. Don't forget to subscribe either if you are new to the channel. And also let me know, man, because like I said, we prime time on Mondays and Wednesdays, 8 p.m., right? Thursdays, 4 p.m. How y'all rocking with the time slides? Let me know if y'all digging it. And like I said, the versatility with them as well. All right. But let's go. The homie Richard R. Bezo showing love on the front end. Dang, you sent that super chat in early, man. Show wasn't even on you. I like your energy, Richard. I like it. He says, Woody Marks. Okay, so Woody Marks, that's the USC running back, says he says Woody Marks would be my pick for RB3. Late rounder, great hands, perfect role player for what we need. Upgrade over the washed fake 84. Oh, bro, that's tough. Shout out to 84. Shout out to Cordell Patterson. Shout out to AB. All right. Jeez Louise. But yes. In terms of Woody, hey, y'all funny in the chat too. I just peeped what y'all was talking about over there, man. All right. Yeah. I'm glad that y'all be setting your schedules over there, man. Salute to y'all on that. Yeah. Respect on that. I like that. I like that right there, man. It makes you feel like y'all actually care a little bit. All right. So yeah, salute to y'all. But let me get back to Richard real quick. All right. So Richard Arbizo, like I said, he said Woody Marks would be the perfect pick for him at RB3, late rounder, great hands, perfect role player for what we need, and upgrade over Cordell Patterson. So when we talk Woody Marks, I like Woody Marks' game a lot. And I do like the fact that you specified you like him at RB3, because to me, I like that even more. I mean, Woody Marks, like you said, can catch out the backfield, elusive, has the speed to hit it and get it. Is a dude that has really good short area quickness, right? You talk about him on that USC offense, man. He was probably their most productive player, But that's the guy that you get the ball in. You can get the ball to in a multitude of ways. Handed it to him out the backfield. You can obviously throw it to him, swing passes. You can get him in the screen game as well. Just a true dynamic player with the ball in his hands, man. So that is the part that is unique about him. The thing that made me hesitant and why I'm glad that you said late round or RB3, I was a little bit concerned about his frame. I was like, man, I don't know if he will be durable enough to take the share that workload if we're talking about replacing Najee exclusively with him in terms of the tandem of him and Jaylen Warren. But since we're talking about him as the third guy, I think if you were running it back with Najee and Warren, right? Because to me, that's kind of what I want to start with and then bring in something different for 3. This is that. that type of guy, Woody Marks, for certain is the type of back that I am thinking of, because I do want to go and move on from a Cordell Patterson. Thought that he did good, but as a whole, for what I want specifically in comparison or in contrast to Najee and Jaylen Warren, I think a Woody Marks type, or just a very dynamic, the guy that has the it. Right. I want that guy. Now, granted, I don't want the guy that I got to go get in the first round, the Aston Genty type, but I want that guy that I can just use situationally. I can use as that, like you said, RB3, whether it's in passing situations or whatever it is, his defining characteristic. That's when I want to utilize that type of back. And yeah, for certain, man, Woody Marks can definitely fit that bill, man. So shout out to you on that one, man. That's a nice way to start this thing off, man. Woody Marks. Yes, indeed. All right. All righty. Let me get a sip of this here Drit Hank. And I see you just learning again in the 575. Taos, New Mexico. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And X Concepts. It is dope to hear that, man. He says, yo, Moats, we care a lot. Just like you, my guy. Hey, man, let's do it, man. It's the only way to do it, man. Yes, indeed. All righty. J. Farrell says, now you want to talk about someone running with cement shoes? Look no further than CP Cordell Patterson. Jeez. No, see, I was about to say, yeah, I'll be getting on my dog Naj. Hey, Naj will be looking laboring at the time. And it was times they be looking like, yo, bro, come on, man. You a wide receiver, bro. Give me some juice. I know you got it in you. All right. Tony Daniel II. Shout out to Tony Daniel II. Let's see what he has to say. He says first round targets are simple. Benjamin Morrison, the cornerback, Trey Amos, cornerback, Isaiah Bond at wide receiver, Emeka Egbuka at wide receiver, and lastly, it's a name, Walter Nolan, the D tackle. That's Ole Miss, if I remember correctly. Yo, okay, very interesting. I will tell you off the top, Tony, I have to catch up film on Ben, Trey, and Isaiah. I've watched Emeka, I've watched Walter, so I'll talk more about those guys right now. And then, like I said, man, as I start watching more and more tape, man, like I said, it was a little bit of a hectic last weekend, as you could imagine. All right. So that cut into a lot of my film study time. Okay. I had all these big plans of like, yeah, we're going to watch this tape and watch that tape. We'll break this down. I got this evaluation. And then it was bombshell. And it was like, whoa, all right. Time to pause. Let's time to, get back to the roots. Let's figure out how we're going to get this thing going in the short term and then long term pitch and stuff like that. So I'm going to catch up on them cats, man. But in terms of Emeka Egbuka, yeah, I could definitely see him as a first round target. You've seen him mocked to us a couple of times in the first round already. And it's no surprise with that, man. He is a guy that plays wide receiver, and it's a position of need for us. And when you look at what he was able to do at Ohio State, those are some of the things that makes him really intriguing, mainly because you can see him operating out the slot. You can see him operating on the slot. You can see him operating out wide. Now, granted, he wasn't predominantly on the back end that you would typically like to see from those guys at the collegiate level, but that's because he had Jeremiah Smith, who we know is all world at that level right now, man. He's their Marvin Harrison Jr. And obviously the year before that, he did have Marvin Harrison Jr. So we haven't really seen him be the alpha to that extent just yet. But when you talk about, Emeka, it's like, man, this dude can run every route. He's a hands catcher. He's explosive in the open field, creates a lot of separation, very detailed with his route running. So there are a lot of things about me that likes him potentially in that first round. All right. So I definitely like what you're putting down with him. And then with Walter Nolan, like I said, I'm going to talk about him one of these days when we get to breaking down all these D linemen. But with Walter, man, I like him because, number one, he's positional flexibility. I think he can play the 1 technique. I think he can play the 3 technique. I think he can play the 5 technique. And what I'm saying is when we're going from base to nickel, the 1 technique versus the 3 technique versus the 5 technique. When we're in base, that 5 technique, that's the Cam Hayward, that's the Larry Ogunjobi, right? When we go to our sub package, nickel, now he bumps in and he's the Larry Ogunjobi guy over the guard. But I also feel like he could play over, in that shade technique or in the 1, which is right outside shade of that center. So you talk about a guy that can move up and down the offense, up and down the defensive line. That's what Walter Nolan brings to you. So you have more options about who do you keep and who do you allow to hit the market between, your DeMarvin Leals, your Larry O's, your Keanu Benton, your Isaiah Loudermilk, your Cam Haywards. He's a guy that can play with a lot of different body types around him. Now, part of that is a gift, part of that is a curse because he is a tweener because of that. And some of the things that benefit him being a tweener is he's fast. Man, the way that he plays in terms of the urgency that you see with him, that paired with his motor, he wins a lot just off of outworking guys. And he can do that because, like I said, he's a little bit undersized. So his condition is a lot better than some of those other dudes, man. So that's one of the things that stands out to me when I'm looking at him. The other thing that I like, or the other thing that I would say is I don't feel like he's a guy that is just at the point of attack versus some of those bigger body offensive linemen. He's not just, manhandling them. And I think he could, use one of them NFL strength programs, just kind of add to, that part of it. But I also think the technique would help him as well, man, just getting a little bit more polished with some of that type of stuff. The other thing that I would say that I think he could improve upon as well is I don't know, like, if you can make the crazy jump in terms of becoming more athletic, because he's like, when you look at his frame, he is smaller than your Kenneth Grants of the world, your Mason Grahams of the world, your Talik Williams of the world, right? But when you look at their athletic profile and how they go side to side, their straight area, short area quickness in comparison to Walter, I think that Walter is a little bit less than athletic compared to some of those bigger guys. So that's, like I said, one of my other just things that kind of makes me, if I'm looking at pros and cons to him, those are some of the things I'm weighing. But do I think he could help us out? Absolutely. Do I think that could be a guy that could, you talk about putting him in there with a Cam Hayward and Keanu Benton? Yeah, I think that helps us out a lot, especially when you're talking about rushing the passer. I think his explosiveness and his urgency, it looks good there. But I would still have some concerns with just point of the attack. How is he dealing with some of those big body, offensive linemen that's going to try to lean on him a little bit, man. But so, yeah, shout out, though. All righty. I like that right there. Okay. And if y'all digging the show in terms of how we rocking out, man, y'all hit that like button one time for the culture and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Like I said, man, gonna have the homie Ben DiNucci popping up in a couple of minutes, man. All right. That's gonna be a little fun one, man. Cool little interview. Hopefully, y'all enjoy it. Okay. So let's see. Tony Daniel II also came back with Deion Walker would be a nasty zero at D tackle 2 at round 2. No, shout out to Deion Walker. Have watched a little bit of him. That is a big dude, man, out of Kentucky. Yeah. He gave me some Chris Jones vibes, low key, when I was watching him, man. It was like, yo, this dude, man, explosive out his stance, man. Has a very, very high end swim move and does a good job splitting double teams. I thought he played a little bit high at times, but as a whole, man, I'm like, yeah, I like him, man. Deion Walker is definitely a good player, man. Definitely a guy that I can see, us having some interest in, man, early in the draft, because I don't see him, when you talk about finding those big D linemen, big prospects, man, that can move up and down and actually look competent and still play with great effort. Yeah, those guys, you put a premium on them. TG, I think, yeah, in fact, TG was talking about that a little bit last night about the premium that you put on big athletes. And Deion Walker for certain is one of those guys that when you look at him for his size, the way that he can move, yeah, that's a daggone good player. It was funny, man, because I was back and forth when I was looking at him versus Mason Graham. I'm like, man, both of these dudes are kicking butt, but they do it very differently because of their body types. But yeah, shout out to Deion Walker, though, man. Definitely like him, man. And like I said, man, the more we talk about the D linemen, man, and D line prospects, his name is going to continue to come up, man, along with some of these other guys. And like I said, at some point, might be today, I am going to talk about those guys a lot more in-depthly, man, because like I said, I do feel like it's a couple of those guys, man, that we could legitimately be targeting in that first round, all right? Get a sip of this here water. Oh, and I see you, Rod Dollar. Talking about some Travion Henderson. Yeah, he one of them names. He's definitely one of those names, man. About to say, I'm start looking at these running backs. I was checking some of these dudes out, man. Was it Marion Hampton? I was looking at him for a little bit. Obviously, Cam Scatterboo. Who else was I checking out? Oh, yeah, Woody Marks. I was like, it was another running back I was just looking at. Yeah, Woody Marks, man. So yeah, it's definitely some dudes, man, because I'm just trying to figure out just different options that we can have, right? I hate that feeling of us feeling pigeonholed. Feeling like, yo, it's only this guy, or it's only that guy. It's like, no, these are just the guys that we know. So we're more familiar with them. We're more comfortable with them. But as long as we continue to expand and we continue to challenge, why is this guy good? Why should he stay? Why is that guy good? Why should he stay? I think that's how you continue to make your roster better. I think that's how you continue to stay competitive, in this professional space. So I do like that, man. So shout out. Alrighty. But yeah, it is 4:30. So let me get ready. We'll get the homie. And then from there, man, hopefully y'all enjoy the interview. All right. But yeah, hit that like button on the front end and don't forget to subscribe either if you are new to the channel. All right, man, I'm excited today because, man, I get a chance to get joined by one of my JMU guys. I'm talking, this is one of the legend dudes, man. And also, if you're from the Western Pennsylvania area and you know Whip Hill football, come on, man. You got to know this guy right here, man. I'm talking about the guy who came into the NFL in the 2020 NFL draft. Dallas Cowboys selected him in the 7th round with the 231st overall selection out of James Madison University. And obviously, man, once he got to the league, man, spent time in Dallas with the Cowboys, with the Broncos as well, and currently with the New Orleans Saints. But he also had a stop in the XFL, man, with the Seattle Sea Dragons. We're going to talk about that as well. And can't forget about the Buffalo Bills in there also, baby. But without further ado, I'm talking about that Whip Hill legend, the one and only quarterback, Ben DiNucci.
Arthur, I appreciate the introduction. I'd be careful using my name and legend in the same sentence. Hey,
listen, man.
So
the only reason why I got to start like that, man, I'm doing my research on you, and obviously, man, you being a Pine Richland Whip Hill High School guy, I just, I was like, man, let me just look at the numbers, bro. 4,269 yards in one single season. Like
we could brag a little bit. I think I was the first QB, man, to hit 4,000 a year. So that was a long time ago. Shoot, that was 10 years ago at this point. I know for a fact a lot of guys have hit the mark since. But yeah, back in the day when I was a senior in high school and I hit that was like, man, this is cool, right? This is I didn't even throw for that many yards in Madden when I would play growing up. To be able to do it in real life, I was like, man, this is cool, right? Must be doing something right.
No, facts on that, man. And I mean, you think about obviously how you do your thing there, and now you're getting ready to go to college. Now, I need to know a little bit more of this backstory because I know you ended up at Pitt, but that wasn't initially where you was decided to go. So talk to me about that story, man.
Yeah. So back when I was in high school, the NIL, all this transfer portal stuff was a little different, right? So there was, I know you probably remember it, right? Like if you went to a Power 5 school and you didn't graduate and you wanted to transfer, you had to sit out another year. So one thing kind of led to another. Before my senior year, I was kind of one of those guys that I was like, man, I want to get this over with, right? Like whatever happens with school happens with school. I want to focus on football, going to my senior year of high school, enjoy it with my friends, blah, blah, blah. So at the time, the best academic and athletic school that, I'd offered me was the University of Pennsylvania. They were Ivy League. So
I was about to say, that's Ivy League. Don't rush the Ivy League talk. Yeah.
I'm not sure I would have finished there if I decided to stay, but it's always a big what if. But no, I decided to commit for my senior season, shut it down. Was really happy with my decision. One thing kind of led to another, lit it up my senior year, and Pitt came calling 2 weeks before signing day. I think the head coach at the time was Paul Christ. He was Pitt head coach. Wisconsin. And then they were shuffling, so they brought Pat Narduzzi in. He was the defensive coordinator at Michigan State. Brought him in, hired him as head coach, and then the next week, the OC was at my school watching me work out. That weekend, I was on an official visit, and then I signed a week later. So it was it was really fast, really kind of hectic how it happened. But for me, right, like the opportunity to grow up in Pittsburgh, to play for Pitt, to play ACC football, that was a no-brainer, right? So I flipped 2 weeks before signing day, and I decided to be the hometown kid to go to the hometown school.
Hey, listen, now we know that's a legendary move. Anybody that plays in the Whip Hill, we're all talking about, Pitt. You want to go to Pitt or West Virginia or Penn State? Like, we know it's all in that, depending on who you are. But hearing that you did commit early in terms of going to Penn, what were the other options that you were considering, or was that just the one that you said, man, this is the school for me, man?
Yeah, so I had one of these like throwing days, junior days that my coach kind of set up for my senior season, where a bunch of coaches came and watched me throw. I had no offers to that point, and literally as soon as we were done, Akron offered me on the spot as soon as I was done throwing. So that was Akron. Was
the Zips, right? Yeah.
The Akron Zips. And as I was doing my research later that night, I found out I was one of 27 quarterbacks that they offered. So as you can imagine, right? I'm like, man, what are we doing here? So
You ahead of the game, finding out that they offered that many people, man.
right, it was on an emotional high. I was like, man, I just got my first scholarship, blah blah blah. This is cool. And then as soon as I got home that night, I'm like, man, they offered 30 guys. So, but nonetheless, that's kind of what opened the door, right? Like as soon as one school offers, schools in the
rest
conference,
don't jump
like,
on.
Hey, why aren't we looking at this kid? We should start looking at this kid, right? Then it kind of snowballed a little bit. So I had a bunch of group of 5 offers. I had like Fordham, Central Connecticut, New Mexico State, Akron. JMU was actually one of my first offers. I'd visited a few times. And then I had a couple small FCS schools, Towson, JMU, some of these little ones. But to me it was Penn, right? Like it was academic, it was athletic. I knew a few guys that went there, and so I decided to make that call before my senior season. Yeah, I wasn't necessarily one of these guys that had. I was 6'2", 180 pounds, soaking wet when I graduated high school. So I wasn't this big 5-star recruit that was 6'5", 220 or prototypical guy. So kind of had to get it out of the mud, I guess, and see where my journey took me, and it ended up working out. So I'm happy that I ended up making the right decisions along the way.
No, without a doubt. And like you said, man, that's always something that's interesting, man, because whenever you hear a quarterback, man, and we think of their storyline, man, you're an NFL quarterback. You're a quarterback that got drafted. Man, you were a player of the year. You went to a national championship. You just assumed that, man, everything from the beginning to the end was just, easy. But when you hear the story, it's like, no, man, you've had to overcome adversity, man. You've definitely had to dig deep. And like you said, getting it out the mud, man, when I'm like, yo, you were committing to Penn and then you end up at Pitt. It's like, all right. That's interesting, right? So take us through now. You're at Pitt, man. What's going on in that situation, man? And obviously, like you said, you committed there, 2 weeks prior to, signing day. So it wasn't like there was a lot of familiarity, but talk to me through that process, man, when you're actually there. What was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I guess growing up in Pittsburgh, right? You have, Pittsburgh. I live 20 minutes north of the city in Wexford. But
hey, listen, man, if you're from the area, man, everybody say Pittsburgh, man.
Everybody knows what I'm talking about. But growing up there, right, I knew the lay of the land, was familiar with the city. We had Heinz season tickets to the Steelers growing up, so very familiar with Heinz Field.
Let's go.
Played there in high school. That's where the Whippeal championships were. So it wasn't like this big life change that I felt. And in more of a ways, I almost felt it was kind of calming in a way, right? Like, hey, I'm staying home, getting to be the hometown kid. There's a lot of stuff that is going on. I feel like, hey, I'm sweet, right? I'm right in my backyard. But as soon as I got there, I knew I was going to redshirt. They had Chad Wojcik there the previous year, and then Nate Peterman, who's
shout out to Nate, man.
Transferred there, so I knew that it was going to be at least a year or two before I was going to get a shot, and I was fine with that, right? Like I previously said, I was 180 pounds soaking wet. I'd never seen a weight in my life until I got to school in college. And so in my freshman year, when you redshirt, right, all it is work out and eat as much as possible. So I think I went from like 180 to 205 my freshman year.
Hey, look, get big a little bit, man. Come on now. Yeah.
And I think I'm actually lighter than that right now. So I need to start eating some calories again. But it was fun, right? I mean, it's just different. You go from playing 10 years growing up to all of a sudden, hey, now I got to sit and take a backseat to guys that are already here. So it's a learning process, right? College football is different than high school. NFL is different than college, and NFL is a lot different than high school. So I think I benefit from it, right? There's a lot of guys that just get thrown into the fire right away and have to play or expected to play right away. For me, it was, hey, let's get your body right. Let's get you in physical shape. Let's get you mentally up to speed. I came from a high school offense where it was RPOs. I was just reading one guy. So I had no idea what the difference between cover 2, cover 4, man, all this different stuff was. So it definitely took me a year or two to feel comfortable, to get situated with the offense, weight program, all that stuff. Yeah. So one thing kind of led to another. We were in bowl game my redshirt freshman year. Nate Peterman got hurt, went out with a concussion. I was the backup, and that was my first introduction to college football playing time. Was the Pinstripe Bowl in Yankee Stadium.
Man, come on now. Welcome to the big leagues, baby.
Exactly. And so I was like, hey, man, let's roll. It's not like I had all this time to get ready to prepare to be the starter, right? He went down in the third quarter, and then all of a sudden everyone's looking on the sideline. Where's Ben? Hey, go to your helmet. You're in the game.
Hey, you ready? Hey, we haven't cared about you, but now you're the most important person ever. Come on.
So that's the life of being a backup quarterback. I'm still living it. So one thing kind of led to another. Got thrown in the game. Made some good plays. didn't make some good plays, right? It's
Yeah.
just how it goes when you're a young guy, especially as you're a QB. So going into the offseason, I think, hey, these guys are out of here. It's now my time to roll, right? I got the keys. Let's see what these last 2 years have been all about. Am I ready to go? Am I ready to do this? Or am I going to have to just see what happens after that? They bring in Max Brown, who was a 5-star from USC, the number 1 recruit in the country, when he was coming out of high school.
Now, are you aware of that this guy has that type of like prestige when he's coming here, or do you just get surprised when he gets to the campus?
I mean, when you see, hey, Max Brown commits, I think logically, right, everyone's just going to go type,
like,
who is this guy into Google and find out a little bit about him, right?
All right.
So I think that was natural, and I'm like, all right, so at least I'm like, hey, I'm going to be competing, right? So I know that. So they bring him in. They let us compete during spring ball. They let us compete during fall camp. And I'm probably not the only person that'll tell you this. You can go ask anybody that was on that team that year. I mean, I'm sure a majority of the guys would tell you I beat him out fair and square.
Let him cook. Come on, man.
Fall camp. But unfortunately, there's a lot that goes on other than sometimes the best player playing, right? And that was kind of my introduction to – hey, the best guy doesn't always play. There's some politics that might be involved in this.
Absolutely.
They started him. He played well the first 5 or 6 weeks. I think we were 2-4, 3-3. He broke his collarbone week 6 or week 7 against Syracuse, and so here we go again, right? Same thing as last year, where I got
sudden change. Come on, man.
Thrown into the bowl game. Now all of a sudden, middle of the season, Ben, you're our guy, right? So. Played 5 or 6 games, thought I played decent. The unfortunate thing about quarterback, right? As soon as you step in, everyone expects you to 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers. Doesn't matter if you're a redshirt freshman. Doesn't matter if you're a redshirt senior. Doesn't matter if you're a true freshman, right? So I felt it that I was on a little short of a leash, even though that was my first time kind of getting thrown in there. And, as well as bringing Max Brown in, Kenny Pickett had enrolled early the same year. So I kind of knew, hey, I got to plplay well. This is their guy that they brought in Kenny Pickett, that, hey, if I don't play well, right, the writing could be on the wall. We were not good that year. We were 4-8, 5-7, didn't make a bowl game. The last game of the year, they approached me and said, hey, we're going to start Kenny. The last game of the year. We're playing number 2 Miami, who was 11-0 or 10-0 at the time. He plays really well, goes for 200 passing, 100 rushing, and 3 or 4 total touchdowns. And so after the game, I'm kind of like, all right, this might be right. This is kind of what we didn't want to happen. It's a reality now. We're going to have to figure out, hey, do we want to stay here, be a backup, and try to just see what happens?
And he's a freshman, right? When this is happening, correct?
He was a true freshman. So I was like, all right, this is right. I'm not stupid.
Look, this is worst case scenario for any college football player if the true freshman comes in.
There's only one guy that plays. It'd be one thing if you're a receiver or a linebacker, right, where you're rotating guys. You've got different guys coming in and out of the game. But QB, it's like, oh man. So I decided, hey, the best thing for my future might just be a clean start. At that point, NFL was not even the closest thing on my mind, right? Just, hey, let me go graduate, let me go play football for a few more years, have some fun with it, and we'll figure out whatever happens. Whatever happens after that, and then one road led to another, and all of a sudden, JMU. So
come on, now. It is crazy to think, though, man. As you said, you weren't even considering NFL at that time, but hindsight 2020, you got 3 dudes at the same time at Pitt. All 3 of you guys drafted into the NFL. It's crazy,
now,
right?
In the NFL still. I'm going into year 6, and Kenny Pickett's going into year 3 with the first round.
Absolutely, dude. So
crazy. It's wild just to see kind of how some of these quarterback rooms kind of pan out and where guys end up. So I got no hard feelings, right? It'd be one thing if those 2 guys were just selling insurance or something, but they're in the same league that I'm in.
Yeah, what's going on, man? How does that happen right here, coach? Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
No, I like that right there, man. So now it's time to, like you said, man, you hit the portal, man, you're getting ready to transfer, and very different than what we see today, right? Today, it's like, man, everybody hops in the portal. If you don't like it, it is what it is, man. Go find a spot. Take us through the approach for you, or the perspective from your eyes going through the transfer portal. And was it just JMU that you were considering from the beginning, or did you have other schools that you was like, yo, man, I look at that one over there?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna lie, right? As I said earlier, it was a little different. So I didn't graduate. I hadn't graduated, so it was either, hey, you've got 2 years left, you can stay at the same level, you're gonna have to sit out again, and then your senior year, hey, let's try to.
Because you always had to sit out 1 year at that time.
Yeah. Or let's go down a level. You've got 2 years, and who knows if you go light it up, right? You never know what could happen. But that was the last thing I was thinking of. So, like I said, JMU was one of the first schools that offered me. I had visited twice in high school, so I was very, very, very familiar with the campus. It was still the same coaching staff. And I had known a few of the guys who had gone there, the Stapletons, Jordan Brown, a few of these Pittsburgh guys who had made their way to JMU. I had reached out to and kind of said, "Hey, I'm thinking about transferring. It's really JMU. I need you guys to reach out to a coach, because at this point they were still in the playoffs. JMU was in the playoffs.
Yeah,
they were playing December, January, so it was different, right? So I had to move.
Very
fast.
different. Yeah,
I had to move really fast. So one thing led to another. The quarterback coach got a hold that, I wanted to transfer, and I was interested to come in there. I passed along my high school film, my Pitt film. Head coach got it, OC got it, quarterback coach got it.
Yeah.
I went and visited for the Weber State game. They were playing Weber State in the semifinal.
Hey, okay, that's a good one to go to. Yeah.
2017. This was in December. And I had made the decision too that I wasn't going to wait until after the spring to transfer. So I made the decision that, hey, wherever I'm going to go, I'm going to try to get there January 1.
Sooner you get there, the better. Yeah.
Especially as a QB, right? I'm walking into a new locker room. I've got all new teammates, all new playbook. And so I'm like, I got to hit the ground running as soon as possible. Mike Houston, the head coach at the time, said, "Hey, we love your film. We love what you're about. If this thing works out the way it's supposed to, we think you're going to be our guy next year. Here's the deal. We don't have any scholarships available right now." I said, "Oh, fine." I said, "Fine. I don't care. I'll put everything on myself. If I'm as good as I think I am, and if you guys think this is going to work out how it's supposed to, it shouldn't matter. I'll do a semester and we'll figure it out after that." So I said, "Sweet, you got my commitment. I'll be there in a couple of weeks. Let's get this all figured out." I signed, or whatever it was, because they couldn't offer a scholarship. I don't remember what I did, but one thing led to another. I showed up in January, and I actually got to campus the night of the national championship. So they weren't. The team wasn't even on campus yet. I had shown up. Yeah. I lived in a place with Brian Shore, who was the quarterback.
Shout out. Yep.
And so all these guys come rolling in, 24 hours later at 2 or 3 in the morning after they had just lost the national championship. And like, who the hell is this guy in our apartment now, right? So it was a little interesting for me too, right? Because you're coming half year, you're coming into a new environment. It's not like you got recruited there out of high school and the whole recruiting class. So I was like, all right, I gotta get in where I fit in. I gotta try to make myself right. I gotta get these guys to trust me. I got to just show up, put one foot in front of the other, and put my head down and work. And sure as heck, that's what I did. One thing led to another. Started junior year, started senior year, and then kind of was able to still be playing. But that's kind of how the origin story of JMU walked on and kind of earned it there.
Yeah, that is crazy though that you actually walked through it and took the opportunity like that, man. Because obviously we see how it ended. I mean, you obviously taking this team to a national championship appearance. I mean, you're top 5 on Dago every all-time list that they got there from a quarterback's perspective. And to just hear how it started, it's like, man, this is a crazy story, man. You would think that, you don't miss with a guy like that. That's the guy that you go and, you sell the house for, but, everything worked out the way it was supposed to. So now it's time for the NFL draft, right? Take us through this process, man. Do you know you're getting drafted? Do you got any type of feeling that it's going to happen? Or are you coming into the NFL draft process just like, it is what it is, man? Like, if it happens, cool, but if not, cool.
Yeah, so I mean, I signed with an agent just like most of these guys do, right? And I just told my agent from the start. I said, "Hey, I don't want any BS, right? I've been around it enough. You don't have to tell me, hey, you're gonna get drafted, right? Don't pump me up and then just have me get killed down."
You did it the right way. I was the opposite, man. I was like, pump me up, tell me everything I want to hear. Yeah. Sold me a dream, baby. Sold me a dream. It hurt my heart. So, if I could do it again, I would definitely take your approach.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to be realistic about it, right? I'm like, I'm at JMU. I'm at an FCS school. Like, how realistic is this that I'm going to be drafted, right? I'm the same year as Joe Burrow. Justin Herbert, Jalen.
That was
Hurts.
A crazy clash, you're right? Yeah.
And on top of that, it's little do I know, in a few months, it's COVID's about to hit, right? So the whole world's about to get shaken up. So I decided to do all my pre-draft stuff in Atlanta. It was me, Jalen Hurts, and another dude, Drew Brown, who's a starter in the CFL right now, who lived together for a few months and did all of our draft and combine stuff together. I didn't get invited to the combine. I didn't get invited to any of these senior games. So already I'm fighting uphill, right? Yeah. I'm behind the 8 ball a little bit. Fast forward a couple months, everything is going great. I'm on my way back to JMU for pro day, and my phone rings, and it's the Rudy Gobert touching the microphone after the basketball game. Shut down, right? Hey, no pro day. I don't know what to tell you. Everything just got shut down. I'm like, man, what the heck, right? Like
with all the training and everything. Oh my
goodness! So you mean to
that's
tell me the
nuts.
last 3 months, everything that I
Yeah.
just did every day,
Yeah.
it might not be for anything, right? Like
Anybody that's been through that process knows that is a grind, man. Seriously.
Right?
Oh man,
it's crazy. Unless you've been through it or know someone that's been through it, it's hard to understand and hard to relate to. So the saving grace that I had is my quarterback coach who I trained with for those few months. Every single rep was taped.
Mm-hmm.
He had a guy taping on his phone behind.
Yeah.
So we came up with the idea that, hey, we've got the whole route tree. Everything that you were going to do at Pro Day is already on camera. Let's put a big 5 or 10 minute tape together of everything that we've done the last few months and just shoot this thing out, put it on Twitter, put it on YouTube. Any scouts, anybody who's already been in contact with you, let's send them that way so that they can see. Because the main thing with quarterbacks is they want to see guys throw live. So no one had seen me throw live before, right? You can turn the tape on and it's one thing, but to see a guy throw live and see how it comes out of their hand, it's just different. So a lot of these scouts and coaches were like, hey, we're excited to come to Pro Day. We want to see how it comes off your hand. We want to see you in person, blah, 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 blah. So I send this thing out and, my quarterback coach in Dallas said, hey, that's the reason we drafted you. That video was the sole reason that we took a shot on you in the 7th round.
That is wild,
all the way up the chain. McCarthy saw it. Jerry saw it. I saw it, right? We decided that was enough. That was all we needed to see based on your game film at JMU, what you've done at Pitt, and what looks to be like what you've done for Pro Day. So really a blessing in disguise, right? I had no intentions of getting drafted after everything got canceled, right? No Pro Day, no combine. I'm just thinking, shit, all I need is someone just give me an opportunity.
Anywhere, it doesn't matter.
Right? And so getting drafted was kind of the cherry on top. And I was like, all right, I got my foot in the door. It's kind of up to me now, right? And so that was the start that I needed. And boom, here we are 5 years later. I'm still going strong.
Hey, look, still making noise, man. And that's what we like to see, man. Heck yeah. No, you obviously get to Dallas, man. What's your first impression? Obviously, this is your first time stepping into an NFL locker room. And it's not just any regular locker room. We talking Jerry's World, baby. What's that experience like for you, dude?
I tell people this all the time. Like my welcome to the NFL moment by far was when I walked into the quarterback room for the first time, and it's me, Andy Dalton, and Dak Prescott. And I'm looking around. I'm like,
jeez,
Andy,
dude.
One of you guys were on my fantasy team like last year. Andy, I've grown up watching you. Right, you've been starting for the last 10 years. I've seen you once a year at Heinz Field play the Steelers. This is weird for me. I don't know how to act. I don't know how to right because I'm 22 years old. You were probably the same way as a rookie. Right?
Oh, 1,000%, man.
Man, do I talk to guys? Like, are guys?
I always say it's a little different for, the non-quarterbacks because, a linebacker superstar is cool, but it's different when you're in the room with the quarterback.
Yep.
You're walking into, like you said, it's Andy Dalton and Dak Prescott.
Yep.
Both of them dudes, massive names, man, big time players. Yeah. 1,000% we understand where you coming from, baby. Yeah.
Yep. And on top of that, other places I've been, the head coach is not normally in those meetings with the quarterbacks, but Mike McCarthy is so involved with everything that's going on that he was also in the meetings every single day. So I'm like, man, I've watched you for the last 10 years with Rodgers, with Favre, with everybody, right? And now I'm just sitting here chopping it up. He's telling stories about the playoffs, whenever it was, right? It's like, all right, this is cool. Then all of a sudden I walk downstairs, I see my helmet, and then boom, there's that massive blue star on the side of my helmet.
Dude.
Regardless if you're from Pittsburgh or not and you don't like the Cowboys, that's kind of right. And everyone dreaming growing up is like, man, that's kind of like one of the teams. Hey, if I could somehow
that's what made me start wanting to play football. I saw them on TV. My neighbor played for a rec team with the star, and I'm like, yo, what is that? I got to be a part of this. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
I got it right behind me. So that was crazy, man. That was the first time I'd ever been to Texas. Everyone always says everything's bigger in Texas, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever. It's probably just
another
state like everything else. Then I get down there, there's 3-story furniture stores and all this stuff. I'm like, man, I'm a long way from Wexford, but I don't hate it.
No, without a doubt. Now, while you're down there, man, we obviously know that you guys were on NFL Hard Knocks, and you're one of the guys that got a chance to get some TV time up there, man. Talk a little bit about that experience for you, man. And did you feel them guys actually being in there as often as they were, man? Because we obviously know up in Pittsburgh, we recently just had NFL Hard Knocks, and it was pretty cool seeing some of that backstory, but it was a different, they were doing the division versus just one team for the whole process, man. So what was that experience like for you?
Yeah, I'll say it was probably a little different for me, right? I mean, I had watched it growing up, so I knew
Hmm.
every year they kind of gravitated towards guys that have a little bit of personality or a little
Yeah.
bit on the bubble. Um, I didn't come from a big school, so right, so they
Hmm.
found out pretty quick. Like within the first few days, one of the producers came up to me and was like, "Hey, you're gonna be a part of this." I'm just for
Okay.
me, and
Come
you don't
on
really
now,
have a
don't do it
choice,
like that,
right?
big. Come on now.
You don't really have a choice. And for me, it's tough, right? Because my rookie year, I don't have preseason, I don't have OTAs, I don't have training
Yeah.
camp. I started a game my rookie year and
Yeah. Heck,
had no
everybody
business.
was watching
I
it
had no
too.
business doing that on Sunday Night Football. And then,
Hey, but
so
either
really,
way though,
my
either way, it
second
was
year,
still a vibe though. It was still a good vibe though, man. I'm
yeah,
just
I
like, we
mean,
was all tapped in. We was
oh
proud of
yeah,
you. I was proud of you. I don't care what nobody say. Yeah.
hey, that's. I mean, I can hold that forever. I started a game on Sunday Night Football
I'm
for the
just
Dallas
saying,
Cowboys.
bro.
You
Come
can't
on,
tell me
bro.
shit.
Yeah. Facts, man. Facts.
Exactly. So then going into my second year, I'm really viewing this as my rookie year, right? Like all of a sudden, okay, I got a real off season. I got
Yeah.
OTAs, I got training camp, I got preseason. Let's lock in. Let's do what we need to do. And then I get to training camp, and all of a sudden, I'm mic'd up every single day. There's literally cameras everywhere. All the meeting
Yeah.
rooms, they're following you everywhere on the practice field. They're as soon as you get out of the locker room, they've got the
Yeah.
guys in your face, whatever it is. Interviews after practice,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. You name it. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody saw it, right? And so it's tough, right? When you're there for a reason to do a job, and I say that it is a job, right?
No, facts on that. Definitely
It's not
is.
football, and it's not football when
Yeah.
you get to the NFL, right? Whether you think it is or not,
Oh
right?
no,
It's a
absolutely. And look,
job. So
if you think it's football, you're gonna be sadly mistaken, or you're gonna be out of there really, really quickly, man. Like
exactly. So
it's a business, man.
it was cool. I guess looking back on it, right? Like that's still one of the things. Like if I meet somebody in public, they come up to me
Yeah.
like, "Man, I saw you on Hard Knocks a few years ago." I'm like, "All right, that's kind of cool, right?" But at the same time, I'm like, "Man, that was like, I wish I would have played better." I threw 5 interceptions
Yeah.
during that preseason. It was
Yeah.
tough, right? And then all that you don't have to be a genius to know that you're not going to be on the team, right? So I got cut. They put a camera in your face as soon as you're
Yeah.
walking out of the GM and the head coach's office. Hey, you have some words. How do you feel? Do they want you back on practice squad? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I did all that. But I mean, I think I would have handled it a little bit differently now if I was going to be somewhere with Hard Knocks going into year
Okay.
6 opposed to year 2, right? You just don't know what you don't know when you're that young and
Yeah.
second year in the league. But nonetheless, very cool experience. Something that a lot of people can't say they've been a part of. I guess reality TV is sweet.
No, without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. And speaking of reality TV and just opportunities, I mean, that's a pretty sweet hat you got on right there, man. You know, and shout out to the hat that I have on as well, man. For those of you that don't know, this is a True Brand hat. Shout out
Sure.
to the co-owner right here, man. So if you could, Mr. DiNucci, talk a little bit about True Brand, man, because these hats, man, you sparked off a whole riot, man. It was a whole movement, and it's still going strong right now, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't all bad in Dallas. There was some good
I
things.
was like, yeah, man.
Yep. So my rookie year, my current business partner Sang, who's the founder who started the brand, just messaged me on Instagram like any of these brands do, right? Hey, you want some free stuff? So I took some hats, wore them around the facility my rookie year. Seemingly every time I had one on, guys were like, "Hey, what's up with that? It's kind of cool, right?" I didn't have any idea. I was like, some guy just gave them to me, right? So fast forward a couple months, he calls me out of the blue, random, during the week. "Hey, I need a business partner. Do you have any interest going into business together?" Blah blah blah. I said, "I don't know anything about business. I've been football for so long, but I can guarantee you one thing: I can get the guys on my team to wear this hat, and I know that the Cowboys mean something, right? And if the Cowboys are wearing something, people want that.
It's
I
a
found
big
that
deal.
out.
Yeah,
I found
it's a
that
big
out
deal.
very quick, and that still holds
Yeah.
true, right? Like these athletes, these influencers they have that title for a reason, right? An influencer is an influencer for a reason. So, so yeah, man. I mean, now you see all these different brands and different
Everywhere, man. Yeah.
trying to rip it off. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not necessarily hurting what we're doing. We're trying to keep the main thing, right?
Absolutely.
We're locked into our demographic, our target market, and our audience. But it's been really, really fun over the last few years to see this thing grow, to take on a life of its own. And just to see anybody from Post Malone to Dude Perfect to
Come on, man.
Moats to you name
Hey,
it.
look, I see Luka. Shout out to Luka. Just got traded. Luka Doncic was with one of your hats. I'm like, bro, it's everywhere, man. Everywhere. I was just glad that I got a chance to get the JMU one, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to Wifey, man. Surprised me with this right here, man. But yeah, usually you can't even get them. Say, yo, sold out. Hey, man. They sell like hotcakes, baby. Sell like hotcakes, man.
Yeah, so it's been fun, right? My brain's been football for 15 years, so to be
Yeah.
able to kind of have something else that I'm passionate about that's not necessarily football and that I can do for the foreseeable future when football is
Yeah,
done, it's
absolutely.
been fun. So I've enjoyed it a lot. We got some good things cooking up for
Let's go.
2025. Some different apparel lines, some different
Okay.
logos, some different colleges, and some different stuff. So it should be should be a fun year.
No, without a doubt. Now, did you ever at any point in time prior to, starting this up, did you ever have a passion for like fashion and designing or creativity and stuff like that? Or was this just strictly, man, I'm gonna take a chance, let's try something?
Yeah, so I didn't start it. Honestly, if I started
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
it wouldn't be where it is today.
Right.
There's no shot. My business
Hmm.
partner is the reason this thing
Yeah.
is the way it is, right? I'm in Denver,
Hmm.
he's in Dallas, our warehouse is in
Yeah.
Dallas, everything's in Dallas. He's the man with
Hmm.
the day-to-day everything he
I
handles.
know,
It. But
teamwork, man. Absolutely.
exactly.
Absolutely.
But I mean, my dad owns a promotional product business. I've been around it for 25
Okay.
years growing up. So I always knew that, business was something that I was interested in. And at some point, when I was done playing football, that would be something that would kind of jog my interest. I didn't know how,
Yeah.
didn't know when. But it's kind of ironic that, as soon as I get out of college, my rookie year, something presents itself.
Pops up right away, man.
Yeah. And so I went to my dad. I said, hey, this is kind of what's going on. And my dad shut it down right away. He's like, you can do what you
Oh.
want. I don't know who's going to buy a hat with the word Dallas upside down on it. And so, yeah, I've told a million people this. And my dad, every time I'm back home, he brings it up.
No.
We laugh every single time. And initially, right, the first thing he said, you better make sure you make this hat. You better make sure you like this hat. It could be the most expensive hat
Wow.
you've ever bought in your life. And so my thought process was, hey, this is just like investing in Apple.
I mean, yeah,
right?
absolutely.
You just
Yeah.
bit whatever it is. So
Hmm.
I said, hey, shoot, I'm not going to know until I know. Let's try
Yeah.
this, right?
It can't hurt.
I don't
Yeah.
know what I like. Don't know what I don't like.
Hmm.
Let's give this thing a shot and see
Yeah.
what happens. And here we are 4 years later that Sang and I have been business partners, and we're
Dude.
better than we've ever been. So it's been a cool journey.
No, that's awesome as heck right there, man. And shoot, like I said, man, we wish y'all nothing but the best. Definitely
Appreciate
keep killing it, man. Because it's all, like I said, it's good to see, man, that you're able to do more than just a sport. Because so many times, man, us as athletes, we get just minimized to just the one thing that we do. But to see that, man, you still can have a lot of success doing multiple things, man, while still keeping the main thing is truly impressive, man. But now we get the 2023 time frame, and you take a trip up to the XFL, the Seattle Sea Dragons. What is that like? Obviously, this is at the first or second year the XFL is starting out or coming back around when that comes out. So, yeah, talk to me about that process, man.
Yeah, so got cut after training camp in 2023. Didn't hear anything from NFL teams. I had maybe one or two workouts. I think the Browns and the Dolphins. Nothing came of it. So my thing was, do you want to keep playing football? That's one thing, right? If you do, it's either XFL or it's go up to Canada.
Yeah.
If you don't want to keep playing football, then boom. All right, we need to figure out what comes next in life. So I wasn't ready to necessarily do that yet. I still wanted to play football. I was in great shape. Still doing all the things I needed to do to play. The XFL was very, very introductory at this point. So my head coach, Jim Haslett, called me. He said, hey, I'm the coach for the Seattle Sea Dragons. No idea what your interest level is here, but would love to have you on our team. Think you'd be a great fit. We have June Jones, who's going to be an offensive coordinator. We're going to throw the ball all over the place, blah, blah, blah. That's all I need to do, right?
He sold it to you that quick.
Tell me where to sign, man. I'm in. If I can get,
You want to throw? We're going to throw it a lot.
If I can get 10 games of tape and have a chance to go back to the NFL, that's all you can ask for, right? Because being a backup in the NFL, the one, especially at QB, the one thing that is lacking is reps. And so when you're only playing a quarter, 2 quarters, half of a preseason game, in the preseason, it's tough to really make an impression. It's tough to have teams be like, hey, we like this guy a lot, right? But we've only seen a quarter. Can he do it for a game? Can he do it for a season? So my big thing was, hey, I got to go get tape. It doesn't really matter where it is. I got to go do this, right? If I can still play at the level of the thing I can play, let me go do this. I'll get back to the NFL, and then hopefully I won't have to do it again. But one thing led to another. I actually got really fortunate. So the XFL, everything was based in Dallas, so I didn't have to move.
Oh, sweet. Oh, yeah.
Anything. So I was on
You're
the Seattle
right. That
Sea
was
Dragons.
at the beginning where all the games were at the same stadium. Gee, oh man.
No. This wasn't that. The whole league was in
okay,
Dallas.
okay.
We still flew to the different to the different
teams.
Games.
Okay.
So my home team was Seattle, but it was a 4-hour flight every week. So it wasn't really like a home team, but it worked out really well. I didn't have to move, didn't have to pack up my life and go to Seattle.
Well, that's good then. Yeah.
It was a seamless transition. 4 months. It was January to April. As soon as the season ended, I went right to Broncos minicamp after that. Signed with the Broncos, rolled right into OTAs because they had already been the NFL offseason.
Man, it had to feel like the longest, 6-7 months for you, right? God.
So it ended up being 13 months. I went January to January.
Oh, my God.
I told myself at the beginning, I was like, hey, we got to do what we got to do. If this thing works out the way you want it to, we can have a nice long off season in 2024. But
that's a lot of football.
A lot of football. Yeah, I was by like week 3 of the regular season in Denver in 2023. I was totally checked out. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see another play. I don't want to see a playbook. I want to lock myself in my basement, watch some.
No, seriously, man.
Play some video games. But no, it worked out the way it was supposed to. I'm really, really happy I did what it did. Really happy I made that decision, and I've been able to get another 2 years out of it since doing that. So it's been really beneficial.
No, without a doubt. Now, obviously, since I am up here in the Pittsburgh area, man, we cover the Steelers a lot. You talked about being out there in Denver. We got some overlap here, man. That quarterback room has a similar guy that was in our quarterback room this year. What was that like, man, having Russ as a teammate, though, man?
That was another thing that was different for me too, right? You go from Dak, then all of a sudden Russell Wilson. I'm like, man, these are two guys who I just
massive, bigger, like
idolized growing up, right? I told Russ, like, dude, I literally remember exactly where I was when you won that Super Bowl in whenever it was
nuts, bro.
Or 2020, 2013. I was a junior in high school, and he's looking at me like, what the hell? But no, it was good, right? Like it's cool to just to see how all these different guys work. They're good for a reason. These guys have prolonged careers for a reason. So being able to ask a guy like Russ for 6 months, just kind of what his thought process is when he's getting up to the line of scrimmage, when he's planning a game, when it's his off day, right? There's so much that you can learn from these guys that behind closed doors people don't see. People just turn on TV on Sunday and just see guys 11v11.
Come on, man. Y'all don't work out. None of us practice. We just show up on game day and it's perfect.
We don't do anything during the week.
Come on, man. Yeah, everybody knows this.
So it was really cool getting to be a part of that, getting to be around Russ a little bit. He's an interesting character, I'll say that. I don't know if you've been around him much at all.
But
yeah, right. Good dude. Obviously has been in the league for a while for a reason, right? Had a lot of success in Seattle. So it was cool to be around him, get to learn from him a year and kind of see how the Berg embraced him this year.
No, without a doubt, man. And like I said, we'll see how that continues to progress, man, as things happen here in Pittsburgh. But from there, man, obviously, man, you're up in Buffalo. How we feeling about that? Because I was just super excited, man, to see you sign up there. That's the team that drafted me, man. And I'm like, all right, you went to my childhood team first. Dallas, all right. Now you're going to the team that drafted me. And then when you was up there, I'm like, hey, man, if it don't work there, you come to Pittsburgh. All right, just keep following. All right, I'm with you. I'm a fan, man. But what was Buffalo like for you, man? And obviously that's another one of those quarterback unicorns that you walking into as well, man.
Nah, this dude is different. Let me. I've been around a lot of guys that can throw the football well. Number 17 in Buffalo is by far the best I've been around. And I think you can know nothing about football and turn a game on Sunday and watch him and be like, that's the best player on the field.
He's different.
He's right. But great dude, right? This was a little different for me because now I'm around a guy who's the same age as me.
Right, yeah.
Personality, like Dak was a little bit older, right? Russ is 7 or 8 years older. Andy Dalton's a lot older. So now I'm coming into a room where the QB's young, similar personalities. I had heard good stories about him. Hey, you're going to like this guy. He's a great dude, great player, blah, 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 all that stuff. But getting to see him work for a month was special. So I got signed the second week of training camp. As soon as I got signed, the second day I was there, we did joint practice in Pittsburgh because we were playing the Steelers that week in the second preseason game. So we get out to practice the first day with the Steelers, and we're going through 7-on-7 period. Ball doesn't hit the ground. We're going through team periods. Ball doesn't hit the ground. Mitch Trubisky's the other.
Hey, y'all in the stadium too. You're at the big boy stadium. Yeah,
we're in Acrisure. Sorry,
but it's
but I turn to Mitch Trubisky and I kind of look at him, and before anything even comes out of my mouth, he just starts shaking his head. He's like, "Yeah, bro, it's every
like
single day, every every single day, and no one even bats an eye to it anymore because they just expect it to happen. I'm like, man, this is different. I've never been around this. Like, some guys are good practice players, some guys aren't, but everybody seems to be able to turn it on Sundays. Like, this dude was, as soon as he stepped in between the white lines,
it was ready.
It was on. Like, boom. Like, you could just see a flip switch. Like, all right, it's go time, right? And so to be able to be around that for a month, I was like, man, this dude could have a really, really good year this year. And then sure as heck, right? Like,
holy smokes, right?
And they have an unbelievable year, and he's a front runner for the MVP. So
heck yeah, man.
I've been very fortunate to be around 3 guys that have played a lot of football in this league, have a lot of miles invested in this league, and have done a lot of good stuff between Dak, between Russell Wilson, between Josh Allen, and I was around Derek Carr for a little bit this past year. So it's been a blessing for me to be around a bunch of guys and just kind of be able to pick their brains a little bit.
No, without a doubt, man. And shoot, the fact that you're doing what we always say as vets, man, it's like you want to see young guys or guys that are, still trying to get locked in. You want to see them soaking up as much knowledge and information as they can. Being those dudes that are like, man, what do you do? What is it that makes that guy great? What is it that makes this guy work like that? Versus the know-it-all. The guy's, oh man, I know more than this dude. Like, so man, it's a big reason when you think about those dudes, and also why you're still able to hang around and build this career that you're building out right now, man. So that's super impressive, man. But talk about New Orleans though, man, because obviously we know you signed there later in the year. And then we know most recently you obviously got the new contract, man, to stay there even longer. So shout out to you for that as well, man. But take us through that process, man. You're getting down to New Orleans. What's that like for you, man?
Yeah, so again, I'm in kind of a similar scenario to I was in 2022 when the Cowboys let me go after camp. I got cut after camp in Buffalo, kind of got blindsided a little bit, if I'm being honest, right? Like I thought I was there for 2 weeks. I got thrown in the fire, learned a playbook in a day and a half, and then played 2 preseason. So I thought at least I was going to be on practice squad.
I did too. I ain't gonna hold you. I did too.
Yeah, so it is what it is, right? There's, I mean, it's whatever, but
it's part of it. Yeah.
Again, got back home, went on probably 4 or 5 workouts. I'm like, man, this is getting annoying, right? I can't possibly throw the ball any better at these things. What do these teams need to see? Yeah. Everyone's telling me the same thing. Hey, if someone gets hurt, you're our guy. You're our guy. You're our guy. Someone gets hurt, they don't call. Someone gets hurt, they don't call. What's really going on here? So, Derek Carr gets hurt week 13 or 14. I think he broke something in his left pinky finger. But I remember this. Me and my fiance were on the couch watching the game, and I said, "I'm going to get a call tonight. I'm going to go start packing my bags. I love you, but I'm guaranteeing I'm going to be out of here tomorrow." Wow. My agent calls me a few hours later. Hey, New Orleans is flying you out tomorrow night. Pack a bag. You're probably going to be there for the rest of the season. Wow. And it's a little different, right? Because I'm not used to walking into a locker room week 14, right? And so I've been a part of the other side where guys have come into the locker room, right? And you're kind of like, all right,
you're like, who's this new guy? Yeah.
Kind of know your place. You're coming into a locker room where guys have a lot of stuff invested, but got in. It's funny. You were just talking about vets, right? All of a sudden, Derek Carr's hurt. The 2 guys that are there are Spencer Rattler, who's a rookie, and Jake Henry, second year. So guys that are young. I walk into the room and they're calling me a vet. I'm like, man, weird, dude. Like,
come on, OG, you the guy, man.
Yeah, he's like, man. And all of a sudden, these guys are asking me the questions that a few years ago I'm asking everybody else, right? And I'm like, man, it's crazy just to see how it shifts when you've been in the league long enough and you've been around long enough. Like, guys start to just think of you a different way. And I'm like, man, this is cool, right? Like, and I knew I wasn't going to play, right? You don't just come into somewhere week 14 and then they just throw you in. It's not how it works. They drafted both of these guys. So I knew my role right off the bat. Hey, I just got to help these guys get ready to roll for the last month of the year, however possible. And if that's my way of keeping my foot in the door, then so be it, right? Like, there have been a bunch of guys who have made a career doing that. So got down to New Orleans. It was nice to be around some humidity again, some warm weather coming from Denver. It was nice to have my skin not be completely white. So it was cool to be back around it, right? Again, I was in a similar situation. I was thinking, hey, this might be it. No one's calling. This is the second time this has happened. Do I want to keep waiting this out? Do I want to try to go to the CFL? Do I want to do the XFL again? No. So I got really fortunate. The Saints signed me. I signed back to a futures contract for next year. So it was fun to be back around it. It was fun to have that fire kind of lit under your ass again, going to the offseason, giving you something to work towards instead of just waking up every morning, working out for no reason, just hoping that your phone's going to ring. And that's not a good place to be either. Mentally, it's tough trying to serve two masters, right? Do I want to mentally take myself to what comes next? Do I want to stay locked in? Do I want to, right? So it was good for me knowing that, hey, I've got a job going into 2025, and kind of how I'm taking this thing, right, is I'm going to give this thing one more shot. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, right? Like I've exhausted. I've already played much longer than I would have thought anyway. If you would have told me when I was in high school I'd play 5 years in the NFL,
let's go.
Right? Like you're crazy. So it's been a heck of a journey. I wouldn't change it for the world. People ask me all the time. Like I every step I've done along the way, from transferring, blah, blah, this, that, I wouldn't change a thing. It all happened for a reason. I'm a big believer in just control what you can control. Stuff happens for a reason. If it was easy, everybody would do it, right? I mean, it's kind of cliche.
Now, where did that mindset come from, though? Because obviously, when you talk about your story and the way that we've kind of laid it out, I mean, from the time you were finishing high school, it sounds like adversity has constantly been a part of it, or different bumps in the road where a lot of people would be like, man, I would have been quit. I would have been checked out. I would have been through in the towel. What is it about you, though, that keeps you motivated, that keeps you saying, man, I'm going to give it another go? I don't care if this opportunity didn't work. I'm going to give this opportunity a go right here. What is that for you, man? I
mean, honestly, I think having the senior year that I had in high school, right? Like, I threw for 4,500 yards, had 50 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. And the only Power 5 school is going to come a week before signing day. So I kind of felt slighted a little bit. Like
I could definitely see that. Absolutely.
Tape on. What else do you need to see? Right? Like, I mean, I was Gatorade Player of the Year over Saquon. And there were a bunch of other guys who were the same class that year. So I think then kind of made me feel like, hey, like I got a chip on my shoulder. It doesn't matter what you do, right? Like there's always going to be someone who doesn't believe in you. There's always going to be somebody trying to tell you you're not good enough. You're not this, you're not that. I kind of always knew, hey, I love this thing. I love football. It's been what I've been doing for the last 15 years. I'm going to give this thing hell until I can't give it hell anymore. And I'm just going to we'll let the chips fall as they may, right? So I've always felt that I've been playing with house money, and so never really felt like I've had anything to lose, a ton to gain. So my thing is, let's put one foot in front of the other, control what we control, and see what happens with this thing. And it's 2025, and here we are 5 years later, still chugging along. So it's been fun.
No, respect on that, man. I got just 2 more questions. Then after that, man, we're gonna be up out of here, man. But you had obviously mentioned this guy earlier, man, when you were talking about some of your training, Jalen Hurts. Gotta ask you, man, we got the Super Bowl coming up, Super Bowl 59. You got the Chiefs, got the Eagles, Mahomes trying to get the three-peat, Jalen Hurts getting the rematch. How you see this thing playing out, man, and how you feel about these quarterbacks in this matchup also?
Oh, man. First, I'll say this. It's incredible what Patrick Mahomes has been able to do, right? Like,
I mean, you're the quarterback. You tell me what you see when you watch the dude, man.
Incredible. So growing up, being from Pittsburgh, everybody hates the Patriots, right?
Yep.
They win. That's all they do. And as I've gotten older and as I've gotten to be around the league more, the reason people hated them so much is because all they did was win, right? And so now you're starting to see why people are viewing the Chiefs, Mahomes, Kelsey, all these guys the same way, is because all they do is win. Mahomes has been a starter for 7 years. He's been in the AFC Championship every single year.
Like, bro,
I've been in the NFL 5 years. I haven't made the playoffs one time. I don't think people realize how hard,
it's tough, man. It's
how
tough.
Unbelievable that is, right? Like, so it's that in and of itself is unbelievable. Now you have to have a lot of guys around you, coaches, right? It's all got a connective. It's all got a gel. But I think it's probably the 2 best teams this year, just in terms of how the year's played out, right? So I'm really excited to see kind of how this thing shakes out on Sunday. It's a rematch from 2 years ago, which was really good
game there too. Heck yeah.
Mahomes played well. Jalen Hurts played really well. But at the end of the day, right, one team just made one more play than the other team, and that's literally what it comes down to, right? Sometimes football is literally one play can make a game. So it's been fun to see the progression of Jalen. I think coming out of college, he was more of a mobile quarterback, didn't have much of the arm, and I think over the years he's kind of shifted that narrative a little bit.
Facts.
Doesn't hurt when you can turn around and hand the ball to a guy like Saquon Barkley and just watch him take off for 70 yards either.
Hey, look, that's a quarterback's friend right there, man.
100%. Quarterback's best friend, or a receiver like A.J. Brown, where you can just put it in his vicinity and know that there's a chance he's going to catch it every time. But I'm excited to see how it plays out, right? Like, the Chiefs got to play those guys a certain way. I'm assuming the Eagles are going to try to run a lot of read option, right? Put the D ends in a bind. If they want to go stop Saquon, you got Jalen on the edge. If they want to take Jalen away, then have fun trying to stop Saquon with a light box. But, it's a lot of the game within the game, right? Because there's only the plays are the plays. There's not going to be a million new plays at every. You know that they're not. The Chiefs aren't just going to run a different defense.
I thought it was like a magic scheme, a magic call that every coach has, man. That every what? No, this is the playbook that we say for this game. Yeah.
So it'll be fun to see kind of the flow of the game, how the Eagles get into it, how the Chiefs get into it. I hate to even say this, but I hope the refs just let them play.
But to say, please.
I'll say it. I don't really care, right? Like, people ever be saying it. It's frustrating. I get it as a fan of the game, right? You hate to see a flag in critical points. Being a quarterback, I mean, some of those calls are a little bit iffy, right? Like I'm all for trying to protect quarterbacks, trying to protect the guys that make the game go. But at the same time, like some of that stuff has been thrown in crucial times and crucial spots.
Just the impact on it. Absolutely.
It is what it is. But I'm hoping for a good game. All anyone really wants is a good, close game.
Seriously, right?
The few hours that they're spending with friends, family, whoever they're spending with on Sunday. So really all you can ask for.
No, without a doubt, man. Well, shoot, the final one I have for you is this, man. Obviously, we talk about your career, man. You've been at multiple spots, man. But you also, like I said, man, had some time in the XFL, man, where you did light it up a lot as well. But just throughout your journey, where would you say was your, when you go back and you have that memory, you're like, man, that play right here for me, man. As of right now, that's the one when people say, hey, what's your favorite play? This is the one I go to. What's that for you, man?
Yeah, so week 3 in the XFL, we were 0-2. We were about to go 0-3. There was 40 seconds left in the game. We were down by 5 points. It was 4th and 4 on our own 30-yard line, and we went 5 wide. Josh Gordon on my left. Josh Gordon is on my left, and I see man coverage as soon as we break the huddle. We're running 5 verts on 4th and 4 with 30 seconds left. I'm like, all right. If we don't,
no
if we
guts,
don't
no glory.
I might get benched and never play again. If I start 0-3 in the XFL, like these coaches don't owe me anything, right? It's just the next guy up at this point. I drop back and let this ball go. Josh Gordon catches this thing over his shoulder, backpedals 15 yards into the end zone, and we end up winning on a buzzer beater.
Wow!
And that kind of propelled. We won like 7 or 8 games in a row after that. Yeah, and the rest is history. So I always kind of pinpoint that play. Like, man, if he would have never caught that ball, there's a chance that I don't ever play football again, right? Like, I'm not naive to think that my coaches would have started me the week after, but there's nothing saying that, hey, let's give
another guy a chance. Yeah,
let's give the backup a chance to see what he's trying to get back to the NFL too, right? So let's make a change and see if we can spark something. But that's the play that I go to that I'm like, man, that was
legendary, man.
Before,
absolutely, man, absolutely. And shoot, that was the day too, man. Ever since, before the XFL did the revamp, man, I think it was the UFL that came, or the AAF at one point, man. It's like ever since that movement started, man, it just keeps getting more and more eyes on it, man, more and more opportunities. And that's the thing that how we look at it as, like I said, from the NFL's perspective, man, this gives dudes opportunities to get back to the league, man. So to hear, man, you throwing bombs out here on 4th and 4, 30 yards, 5 verse all goes to Josh Gordon. And you're like, what? Like, yeah, love it, man. Love it. Hey, but Ben, man, like I said, man, I definitely appreciate you taking time, man, to jump on the show with me, man. It truly means a lot. Been a big fan of you, man, since you've been at GMU, man, and been following your career ever since, man. Wish you nothing but the best career-wise and with True Brand and these fire hats you got going on as well, man. All right?
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. This is weird for me, too, because I grew up watching you on Sundays as well.
Oh, man, you making me feel old, man.
Hey, somebody's got to do it. Why not me? So,
respect on that, man.
I appreciate you letting me come on. Always a pleasure, and go Dukes.
No, without a doubt, always go Dukes, baby.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Like I said, man, definitely appreciate you once again, man. And hey, we'll make sure we have links for all this type of stuff, man, available for the people as well, man. All right.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Arthur.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you again, man.
Yep.
All right. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed the interview. A little convo with the homie Ben DiNucci. If you did, hit that like button one time for the culture. And like I said, don't forget to subscribe either if you are new to the channel. Like a little carryover right there, man. Along his journey, man. Time with Russ. Obviously, the Josh Gordon touchdown craziness at the end. And like I said, man, plenty of other stuff in between. But yeah, man, shout out to the homie right there, man. Figured it'd be fun for him to, like I said, stop by for a little bit, man. So, like I said, if y'all digged it, man, definitely hit that like button. We got a couple of supers that are in here. Get those. And after that, got a couple other topics, and then we open these phone lines up, all right? Because I got to talk to y'all, man. We got to see who y'all want, man. We're going to keep the convo going about QB1. Justin Fields, Russ, or maybe you hitting the field, going a totally different direction, right? But that's what we're going to find out for, all right? That's what we're going to find out. All righty. Got the homie Tony Daniel. Tony Daniel says, if we draft a running back, it should be Jenkins, who is better than Najee Harris, and we can save some money in round 2. Okay. Now, respect on that, man. I haven't watched enough of Jenkins just yet. I saw him obviously in the national championship game and the playoff run. Explosive dude though, man. Definitely got the power and stuff like that, man. So I'm gonna watch him a little bit more. Then I'm gonna come back to you on that. Like I said, just started tapping into some of those running backs, man, most recently. All right. But I do like that though. All right. Because yeah, like I said, if we're not gonna go Naj, man, just give me something that's legitimate. Give me a option that I feel like is an upgrade, or it's the other approach. All right. If it's committee, give me the committee. What does my committee look like? Don't just throw the committee out there. Give me some names, man. Give me some bodies. So I like that right there, Tony Daniel. I definitely like that. All right. Hey, and shout out to the love too, man. I see y'all showing love for the interview, man. All right. From the heart, man. I appreciate y'all. All right. We're going to keep the interviews popping off. Like I said, man, on ones where I'm able to do the little video situation like that, we're going to do that. If it's something where I got to just do audio only, we'll do that. But like I said, man, we're going to keep that thing progressing. All right. It's the only way we know how to do it. Okay. Somber. Shout out to Somber. He says, Jackson Halls, tight end, 5th or 6th round, baby Gronk vibes. All right. Make sure I got Jackson. I know exactly who you're talking about. I need to watch more of him. I definitely can see why you say baby Gronk vibes, man, because of the big frame on him. I think he's a little bit leaner. And obviously I got to watch a lot more of him in terms of the blocking part, because we know what Gronk, man. Gronk looked like a dago NBA power forward out that joint, man, but he got size on him, you know what I mean? And that was part of why when you're talking about him blocking people, you keep him out there the whole time, man. But I will say with Jackson, I think that in terms of his ability to create space, his ability to sit down in zones, catch the football, I do like that about him. So he is somebody that could be intriguing, man. And the fact that you're talking 5th or 6th round, you're not having to give up a ton of draft compensation for him. So I do like that as well. But like I said, man, he's one of those ones that's very interesting to me. But I like what I was saying from Darnell Washington this year, though. All right, when we're talking about the tight ends, it was like, man, we got production not only from Move, but we got production from Darnell. And to me, if we can continue down that path, man, I don't necessarily think that there is this pressing need to bring in another tight end. You still got a Connor Hayward in the building as well, man, who we feel good about, has made plays and been productive as well. Obviously, Michael Pruitt is a free agent coming up, but even with him being in, man, we have some different types, different body types, man, to do just different things than you're just traditional route runners at tight end, man. So I like that though, man. Shout out to Jackson Halls. All right. Let's see. AJ Martinez. Shout out to AJ Martinez as well. It's always a party when you in the building. You know what time we on. He says, I want Terry Bradshaw for QB and a vacation. Shout out to that right there. You can never have enough vacations, baby. All right. I am team vacation, but I'm also team like homebody. I'm like, yeah. I'm torn between never want to leave the house, and if I leave the house, I only want to go to a beach where I can put my toes in the sand, wash the water, and then hit a little whoosh. Like, that's what I want to do. Y'all see every time we go on vacation, I got the little GoPro. I'm dude in the water all the time. All right? Because if I ain't in the crib, put me out there on the water, by the beach, sand on my toes, baby. All right? So I definitely dig what you are on, AJ. And yeah, if we could get a Terry Bradshaw, a 4-time Super Bowl champ, a dude that they call the Blonde Bomber, yes. Who wouldn't want that guy at QB, man? It's an all-time great. You know that. Tons of fun in the building, man. Showing love, paying it forward, being an absolute rock star at life, and gifting an up room membership to Javi Berg for 20. So tons of fun. Appreciate you being a rock star. And Javi Bird, welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Let's get it. Hey, Robert Bennett say your shot to the split screen. All right, hey. Respect, all right? I was quarterbacking this thing a little bit. I'm like, yo, hold on, bro. Let me hit the button. Let me get that. All right, audio, we good? Everything look good, sound good? All right, say less. Say less. So let's get it, man. Alrighty. Tons of Fun also said, did you hear the story about the Sukon tribe? No, I feel like there's something nuts, man. I feel like you got something crazy going on right now, man. Yeah, I'm not about to Google that. Yeah, Tons of Fun. You ain't about to get me, man. That's usually when the homie in here. He'd be like, yo, you read that, you double check that before I get up here just talking that type of stuff, man. I don't know what that is, all right? I don't know what that is. But I'm in my spare time, I'm gonna go check it out. All right, but I ain't about to look that up right here while I'm live. Heck no. No. But you funny. I like your style. Shout out to Tons of Fun. Y'all hit that like button one time for the culture. Don't forget to subscribe either if you are new to the channel, man. Let's go. Hey, so I see you ese hombre alto negro Noriega. Shout out to the longest name ever, and I love it. But Mondays and Wednesdays are the 8 p.m. times. Thursday, we're going to keep it at 4 o'clock because that's the interview, time slot that has always been the case since started going live, man. Like I said, we like to keep them Thursdays at 4 o'clock. And it's, in the words of Official Momentum, it's Friday Junior. Okay. I like to get out and, enjoy my weekend a little bit sooner rather than on the late night, Then I got to wait a little bit. So that's the whole, I'm saying what we doing on Thursday. We like that 4 o'clock slot. All right. But just on Thursdays, Monday and Wednesday, 8 p.m. Kick your feet back, get all your food, all your grocery, all your errands, get all that done. And then we kick back and have a little bit of fun on the late night. All right. That's how we do it. But yeah, man, tons of fun. You ain't slick. You trying to get me jammed up in here, man. All right. I'm going to check it out one of these days. I just gonna do it, like I said, while I'm live right now, man. All right. You funny though, man. You are funny. All right. AJ Martinez, he says, shout out to the chat. I'm just walking up school. I'm just walking up. School is taking me into OT every night. I'd rather have a lady taking me into OT every night. Hey, yo, shout out to the homie AJ Martinez, man. Yeah, I could definitely dig what you on, man. I could definitely dig what you on. Respect to you, though, babe. Respect to you. Don't work too hard, all right? Don't work too hard. But I like the grind. I like how you getting it in. All righty. Let me get ready then. Talk about these here prospects, man. We'll start them off first, all right? So, man, in terms of first round draft picks, man, first round options, man, I figured it's not, set in stone that we're going to go wide receiver. There is a scenario where we could definitely go D-line heading into this draft in the first round. So to me, man, I was thinking to myself, well, what type of D-line would we be looking for? And more importantly, why do we potentially want to go D-line early? All right. So to me, man, when I'm thinking of our run defense late in the year, think about how, we weren't the best team in the trenches late in the year. I look at some of the interior parts and I'm like, man, this guy's getting, too much movement. And when it's a double team, that's one thing. I went back and I watched that Baltimore Ravens wild card game and I was like, hold on, bro. Some of the movement that was taking place, some of the people that was getting blocked, I'm like, yo, that's not how that is supposed to look. You got to have more fight than that. And when that is the case, you start to ask yourself, okay, well, what about this body type? What about this particular player? Could this guy come in here and, make that look different? Because I think if that looks different, this linebacker looks different, or this safety looks different in the sense of how they're playing this particular play. But because of what took place in front, in terms of that interior D-line part, it kind of put them in a little bit of a bind. So it had me thinking like, all right, well, maybe there's a scenario where you go, D-line in the first round. So from there, man, a couple of the names, got 5 guys, man, that I think are more realistic to me in terms of that first round, potentially. But at least guys that we should be having on our radar. All right. To me, man, the first dude is Mason Graham, interior D lineman he was played at Michigan. To me, man, explosive as heck. Could play 3 technique or the 5 technique. So you're talking about a guy that could play where Cam plays in base, Cam or Larry Ogunjobi's role in base. But then also when you go to the sub package ball, you don't have to take him off the field. He can still go out there and rush the passer, man. Think he's really disruptive versus the pass. I love how he emphasizes his hand usage. That's the thing that really stood out to me about him. Super high motor along with his skill and athleticism. The dude flips his hips. The guy is very, very violent with his hands. Like you can tell, he understands what he's trying to get accomplished every time he's rushing, every time he's taking a snap. He's not just playing just to play. And that's what you want to see. That to me is let me know that he is thinking the game through, along with the athleticism and the physical traits that he currently has. Super compact, muscular frame, to me looks like a Tyson Alualu type. Like, that's who he reminds me of. Young Tyson Alualu, like fresh out of Cal Tyson Alualu. That's what I see when I see Mason Graham. Kenneth Grant, excuse me on that one. That's the other Michigan tackle. I think he is just as impressive, but in a very different way. This is like the big body dude, man. Like, true one technique, nose technique will destroy your center. Like, that's what if you don't have four hands on him, meaning the center and guard, he is making them dudes hurt. He's making them dudes look bad. You talk about nose tackle, and specifically nose tackle, because Mason Graham isn't a nose to me. He's more of a 3 technique or a 5 technique. I look at that as the Larry Ogunjobi, DeMarvin Leal types, right? The Isaiah Loudermilk types. Kenneth Grant, man, we got Keanu Benton playing some of this nose, but we've also had Montravius Adams playing the nose. Kenneth Grant is a mammoth of a man, and I think he is extremely athletic for his size. You talk about his short area quickness, his burst, and the ability to change directions for a guy that big. It's like, yo, that's impressive, man. That's very impressive. Along with his hand usage, man, he controls a lot of blockers, and it makes it hard to run the football against a guy like him. I'm in here, I'm like, bro, could you imagine what that looks like with him at the nose, Bitten at the 5, Cam Hayward at the 5? You're like, oh, TJ over here, Highsmith over there, oh. Then you go to the sub package ball, and I'm rotating between Cam, Benton, and Grant. I'm like, yo, we physical. We got big size in there, man. So I do like that about him. I think he has very, very heavy hands, man. You watch him when he touches, boom, boom. Like, he's grabbing dudes. He's controlling dudes, man. And the thing that's crazy about him, we talk about some of these guys as, all right, he'll routinely beat a single block, but versus the double, Kenneth Grant be just destroying the double team like it's nothing. You'd be like, yo, that's just double team. That don't matter, man. Y'all not about to stop this dude at all. So when I think of that, along with the motor that he has for his size, I'm like, yeah, that would be a massive upgrade to the interior part of our D-line, which would then in turn be a big upgrade for guys like Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson, and Landon Roberts. I'm watching them in that Ravens game, and they're making plays, but I'm looking at how they have to get to the ball carrier because of some of the stuff that's taking place in front of them. And I'm saying to myself, man, what if we have a little bit better penetration up front? What if we're controlling the line of scrimmage and we're not getting pushed back, 2-3 yards sometimes, and just finishing in some bad body position? All right. You don't want to finish in certain body position types. All right. But when I look at that, I'm like, yo, a Kenneth Grant type could be a big upgrade in that space, specifically at the nose tackle spot. Next guy, Talik Williams out of Ohio State. Now, I like this dude, man. Gives me some Cam Hayward vibes, low key, man, because he's that rangy 3-5 technique. Strong. I think he's strong. Now, he's not Kenneth Grant strong, but I think he's definitely strong enough. You watch him versus the double team. He handles that versus the run. Like, it's never an issue with him. But to me, the thing that stands out is his pass rush ability. I think that he has that high-end interior pass rush potential. When you're watching him get off the ball, you watch how he uses his hands for the swim move. He has a nice little bit of a shake, stutter you know what I mean? So he has all those little type of things that help him out, and he's a dude that gets to the ball. You cut that tape on, man, the motor shows sometimes he wins more because of that than just his skill. And I'm like, yo, this gives me the Cam Hayward vibes, man, in terms of that dude that is skilled, but you can see where he has a ton of room to grow because of, just his athleticism and his frame. But at the same time, it's like, yo, this guy's effort. I mean, how many times we seen Cam Hayward 30, 40 yards downfield making a play, and it's like, yo, that's pretty dope. It sucks that it had to be made, but it's dope that Cam made that play. That's the same type of energy I kind of get from Talik Williams as well, man. So shout out to him on that one, though, all right? Next up, another guy, like I said, man, that I'm kind of targeting, like I said, early on in that draft in terms of the D-line part, interior D-line, just specifically the interior D-line. TJ Sanders. South Carolina. Yep. Like TJ Sanders, man, long frame interior D lineman. He plays all up and down the D line as well, though. Playing that 1 technique, play the 3 technique or the 5. So you're talking about, man, how do I pair him with Cam and Keanu? Or can I pair him with, if Larry Yo is back, then it's Larry, TJ, Cam. You know what I mean? Like, what does all that look like? TJ Sanders gives you that type of flexibility. You could play him up and down that D line, and you could play him in base or sub package, so you don't feel like you have to take him off the field. To me, I think he's the best pass rusher out of any of these D linemen that I've talked about. Mason Graham, I like his pass rush skill and production, but I think TJ Sanders' frame with his gifts as well, I think just puts him in a little bit of a separate class of potential rushers when you're talking about their game transitioning up to this game, up to the NFL level. I definitely think TJ Sanders has that. So I do like that about him. The other thing that I would say that TJ Sanders does a good job of is slipping blocks, man. You watch him versus the run. We've seen TJ Watt do this, right? Blocks coming at him, whoo, dip under, make a tackle, right? Oh, it's coming over here. Oh, just slip through. All right, go inside, make a play. TJ Sanders does that as well, man. And like I said, he does it, like I said, from that interior D-line spot where you don't see a ton of that traditionally, but he does have a nice feel for that. And I think that when you're watching him in run stunts, in terms of the TEs, the tackle games, loop arounds and stuff like that, to me, TJ Sanders does all of that at a very high level, both in the run game and versus the pass. So definitely one of those guys that, to me, I'm intrigued with. And I think he has very, very long arms too, man. But I do got some concerns with just his pad level. And that's some of the issues when you talk about some of these bigger body D tackles. They play high. And at this level, man, if you don't control that pad level and become more consistent keeping it down, yes, you will have, a difficult time trying to be productive and just trying to find that consistency at the position. But I do like TJ Sanders. Like I said, he's definitely somebody that's intriguing to me. The last guy I'm going to talk about, and I talked about him a little bit earlier, was Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss, right? With Walter, a little bit undersized, but like I said, could play the 1, the 3, or the 5, a true tweener. I think, he's one of those guys that if you're a 4-3 team, you might draft him and play him at DN. I could definitely see that, but at the same time, I can see if you're, a 3-4 team like us, playing him at that 5 technique like Cam Hayward and him playing well there. I don't think he's a full-time nose tackle. I don't think he's a full-time 1 technique. I think you gotta, give him some ability to use his athleticism and play in space, but I love his urgency. Like, you talk about a guy that's going to get to the ball. You talk about a guy that you might block him. It doesn't matter. He is not going to stop. That is Walter Nolan, man, 1,000%. Like I said earlier, he can improve on his hand usage. I definitely think that, he's not the most athletic for his size, but in terms of if I'm looking to replace a Larry Ogunjobi, if I'm looking to replace or move on from a DeMarvin Leal, if I'm looking to replace the production or move on from a Isaiah Loudermilk, I do think Walter Nolan is one of those guys that you would consider because of his skill set, because of the way that, like I said, he attacks. And like I said, just how hard he plays, man. It's not always perfect with him. And I think he could be a lot better with his hand use. I think you get him around the right coaching, that could help him develop. And I mean, if he's in the room with a Cam Hayward type, man, for certain, he is going to improve. He is going to become more of a technician. But that's the part for me where I'm just like, I like that dude a little bit, man. So those are like I said, the D linemen that I kind of think that, if we're going to do D-line in the first round, right? Not saying that we will, because obviously we still got to talk wide receiver some more. That's definitely something that I'm still open to taking in the first round if we don't get that in free agency or in the trade. Like you said, that Cooper Kupp situation is sitting out there. But if we're not going to take that approach, then yeah, D-line still becomes a part of that conversation. I think it will be until we get a little bit more clarity, especially at that quarterback spot, right? Because obviously apparently with the Jay Glazer report, yeah, neither one of them dudes probably be back. So if that's the case, then yeah, more than likely you're going to be trying to refill this whole thing, and you're not going to do it all in free agency. So you're probably going to go draft something. That changed the whole vibe of what we're looking to do in that draft as it pertains to D-line. So like I said, we'll be interested, man, as we continue to follow it. But hopefully y'all enjoying it. And if y'all are, hit that like button one time for the culture and subscribe if you are new to the channel. All righty. Couple more supers that have just popped up. So salute to y'all on that. All right. Let me get those. Actually, take a sip of the drink, though, too. You know what I'm saying? Gotta take a sip. And we got NFL honors tonight. Come on now. MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. Can I get a TJ Watt? Come on, man. It's the night. Come on. All right. AJ Martinez says, waking up, Hey, I'm smoked. 55. Nah, man, trust me, 5'5", man. You know how we do. And trust me, if you ain't waking and getting a little bake off in your waking session, what you doing? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Gotta wake and then bake. Get your research on, okay? Everybody notice. Nothing changed but the name of the screen. That's it, baby. You gotta get your research. Make sure you taking time, all right? You know I live a plant-based life. Fully. Shout out to my plant-based people out there. If you know, you know. All right, tons of fun. It says, on the topic of D-line in the first, how do you feel about Keanu Benton? I personally like him. Also, would you rather get a D-line or cornerback in the first if we go defense? To me, man, I like the idea of going D-line in the first. I also feel like if I'm going to build it up the way that I'm going to build it up, I personally would like to bring back Dante Jackson. I don't think that's somebody that I want to leave. I kind of think that, Dante did an excellent job. Number one, creating turnovers, a lot of splash plays with Dante. Thought that his ability to tackle was good out there. And I thought that his veteran leadership that he provided for guys like JPJ, guys like Corey Trice, guys like James Pierre, to me, I like that a lot. So I would much rather have to replace a D lineman than I would have to replace a corner, because I just think it's harder for, corners to come into this league and play well and have success. But with that being the case, though, I know that he's going to cost. So if the scenario is we don't want to spend that type of money on a Dante Jackson, and now I'm just stuck with that hole, now I might change off of that. Now I might consider some of these corners in the first round, and maybe I'm saying, okay, you go out and get you, like I said, a Milton Williams. That's the guy that will be an upcoming free agent from the Philadelphia Eagles. I like him. I'll look obviously at some more options up there, but it's like at least we know there are some names that if you don't go this route, man, I still feel like I want to solidify, I want to upgrade that spot. So that's kind of how I look at it, man. But I prefer, like I said, in a perfect scenario, I prefer we draft D-line first round, we bring Dante Jackson back, and now I still feel good about my cornerback room, and I'm keeping the continuity there as well. I'm big on the continuity part. I think it helps everybody in that space. And yeah, I just think that it's a lot easier to find a D lineman in the draft, or even a D lineman to develop in the pros, than it is, man, to find a cornerback, man. We've seen it. You can have one really good year and all of a sudden you fall off a cliff at corner, or you have a couple of games where you give up some explosive plays and now your confidence is shot. Confidence gets shot. Now we're over here praying and hoping that, who could we move this dude to? Could we trade him? Like, what's going on here? So when you find one of those corners that actually are productive, that actually look the part and are doing what they're supposed to me, you do whatever you can to keep that guy, man. So like I said, that's kind of how I look at Dante Jackson. And I don't think he's going to, kill you contract wise either. But that's kind of that's my energy with it though, man. So shout out to you for that one, man. But yeah, I like that. I like that approach though, man. All righty. AJ Martinez also says, Wrathman type fullback. Since we can't score in the red zone, keep it simple. Some of the dated ways still work. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Now, you're right about that, man. Hey, look, sometimes old is good and old is better than the new. Then all right, let's try this. Let's go this way. It's like, no. Sometimes what's been working, it still works, man. Nothing wrong with that. So, fullbacks we have seen, man, the Steelers use them at times, man. Other teams have used fullbacks. We know the Ravens, they use a fullback, Patrick Ricard, right? Talk about the 90s with Kyle Juszczyk. So teams do that still, but it's just one of those things where, you got to have your plan, you got to have your ducks in order, so to speak. And if you're taking that approach, you really have to be confident that that fullback can get the job done consistently. We had a run with Rosie Nix, though. Y'all know the homie Rosie, man. I got to get him back on the show, too, now that I think about it. But like I said, man, we've had, fullbacks before, and we've had success. Whether you're talking Rosie Nix, before him, we had a Will Johnson here as well. So there is some options in the sense of trying to be better in the red zone without having to go, all right, we got to throw it. No. You can sometimes go back to that physical, just I'm going to beat you off the ball and we're going to punch you in the mouth type approach. So I ain't tripping on that. Definitely not. But with that being the case, man, hopefully y'all are enjoying it. And if you are, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. We're about to hit these phone lines to get up out of here, since, like I said, we did catch up on all the supers. Y'all did enjoy the Ben DiNucci interview, so shout out to that. But, now I got to talk to y'all a little bit. because that is the other thing that I want to make sure that I continue to do more of when we're doing these Thursday shows. If I'm not going to have a guest on, or sometimes even if I do have a guest on like today, man, still want to make sure that we get a chance to tap in, man, to keep that phone line active, man. All right. Keep building up our relationship, our community. I mean, shoot, we was at 50K for like a day or two. Then we took a little bit of a hit. You know how that go. So now we got to get it back. You know what I'm saying? Got to get it back one step at a time, one subscriber at a time, one show at a time. But let's get this going. Let me open up said phone lines. Alrighty. Get this all set up. And of course, for y'all that don't know, the digits to dial are 412-346-6955. Once again, the digits to dial are, wrong button there. There we go. 412-346-6955. Alrighty. Talk to me. Who I'm on the hotline with, baby?
Hey, it's the Bro Baron. How you doing, brother?
Oh, I should have known it was the man, the myth, the legend. Shout out to the Bro Barian, baby. Always good to talk to you, man.
Yeah. I feel bad about the last phone call.
Hey, man, the last phone call was pretty cool, man. Now, granted, you're part of the final, episode with the homie, though. So shout out to Deke. Shout out to the call, man. Yeah. You were definitely a part of that, man. Yeah, and now you're the first call on the new adventure, the solo vibes.
Yeah, well, one thing I want to clear up is that here's the deal. I think I need to be clear when I was talking about running quarterbacks and some guys are smart and they're all smart, but my biggest thing is that I'm talking about a mobile quarterback that runs when he needs to, not just because everything's breaking down and he takes off. That was my biggest thing that really used to just get in my freaking crawl when I see quarterback from our team doing that crap,
Yeah, because
my dream is always to see a quarterback get that first possession and get to that freaking touchdown. And we ain't had that in so long.
That opening drive, first 15, just getting after it. Yep.
And you know what vibes make me so scared? It's that Cordell Stewart situation. I just don't want to see that again.
You don't want the slash. Hey, look. He's part-time this, part-time that, part-time this.
Yeah. And I think that's probably what burned me for years, seeing stuff like that. And I did like Randall Cunningham. I really, really like Randall Cunningham. But what really intrigued me was the quarterback play. Even though I really love Montana, I did like seeing that when Steve Young needed to run, he did it at a very good level, but he would still dice you up. I used to hate when I would see other quarterbacks dice up our defense. I'm like, man, I would love to see our quarterbacks do that. You know what I'm saying?
But with that, who do you think going forward, though, can get us to that, to where we're not watching the first quarter, the first two quarters, and we're like, yo, when are we going to score? When are we going to have our drive? Like, we're watching everybody else come. Yeah. Which quarterback do you think gives us the best chance of doing that going forward?
Between the three we have now, or in the future?
In the future too, man. Who you think? Because you could be on the man. Look, I don't think that it's Russ or Fields. Maybe I like Will Howard, or maybe I want Jalen Milroe. Like, you could be on that. That's why I was just asking.
All right, so let me break this down.
All right, here we go. Talk your talk.
All you Steeler fans, I want to say I love you all, but I got to get this started. I gotta have a quarterback that I can score on the first possession. Okay. Now, with the three that we do have, I've seen Russ do that.
Okay.
On the regular. Okay. I've seen him do that before, especially with a full offseason.
This is facts.
Now, let's say we pull something from the draft. Okay. And there's some quarterbacks out there that's kind of strange. I really like that Dart dude.
Yeah, okay, Jackson Dart. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I had him on DraftKings too. Shout out to DraftKings.
Shout out.
He made me happy a few times. But
let's go.
I like that Cam Ward guy, even though I can't really explain this dude because he reminds me of a George Pickens, but in the quarterback level. And I was thinking the synergy between them two would be really weird.
Crazy. It could be crazy over there.
I don't know if you guys ever watched that Cam Ward play, but you're sitting there going like, this dude's different, Doesn't get too high, and it gets really, really low. Even if he scores like 3 touchdowns, he just looks like he's about to drink a cup of coffee.
Just Cam. Yep, that's Cam.
Yeah, so I would definitely say that That's what I'm looking for. A quarterback that can at least get that gumption to score, to get that gumption to score on the first round, or I'm sorry, the first possession.
Okay.
But I really want that offensive line to be taken care of, to where when you say, hey, the Pittsburgh Steelers got that big offensive line, we haven't heard that in a while either.
No, that's facts, man. It's since the Killer B era. It's been a
every
while,
time
man. It's been a while.
Yeah, and every time I see Najee or my boy J.L. Warren get that ball, all I see is a sea of legs and arms, and maybe one guy splashing out of nowhere and knocking for a loss.
Absolutely.
And we're going to blame it on the running backs. And these guys can't even get past it. We got to have a castle with a strong
Now, Bro Barron, I got to ask you, though, Bro Barron. I got to ask you as we get into the end of it now. With TG last night, he brought up drafting another tackle in the first round. He said, man, just keep swinging for the fences until you find what you're looking for. You bringing up offensive line, you bringing up, wanting to get back to that physical, that we got the guys up front, the goons. Would you be willing to go in the first round and draft an offensive lineman for the third consecutive year? We draft linebackers like that, but we don't usually draft offensive line back to back to back in the first. Would you do that?
Look what we got up front right now.
I mean, this is
we
true.
Got Frazier. Yeah. No, listen. We got Frazier and we got old boy. He has a third guy, like a Creed Humphrey type guy. That's
this is facts. I dig it, but it's 3 years in a row. Yeah, 3 in a row in the line in the trenches. I think it's time.
Hey, if it's that type of guy that could help. I mean, right now I don't know. It's kind of hard to say what we can do with our quarterback because I'm hearing this crazy news and I noticed that you didn't really commit all the way to what Jay Glazer was saying. So I'm thinking you might know something.
Hey, don't you put me like that. Don't you do me like that. Don't you do me like that.
No. What I mean is you might understand a process that we don't know yet. Remember, I only played like a little bit of ball. I didn't play no ball like you. So you probably understand things a little bit different from all of us. However, it's really hard to say what we're going to do until I know what we're going to do as quarterback. Because whatever quarterback we get, offensive line's got to be able to match him. Protection-wise, also, a lot of different comprehensive levels when it comes to that. But if we get the quarterback I want, I definitely would not mind getting an offensive guy in the front lines to help that freaking running game and help him have and say, you know what, I know I won't be getting sacks on this side.
No, that's facts on that. That's big
so
facts.
I wouldn't mind it if it's worth it.
Okay. I like your style, Bro Barry. All right, last thing I got for you. Who you got winning tonight, baby? Chiefs or not tonight, Chiefs. Who you have winning on Sunday, man? Super Bowl, man. Chiefs or Eagles? Who you have?
I got to go with the coach and the quarterback.
Ooh, okay.
The coach is too smart.
Okay.
And they got great synergy. I got to go with that team from Kansas City. I don't want to say their name because it's not Pittsburgh, but I'm have to go with them. That coach and that, they got too much going on.
Dang. The three-peat, Lord. Okay, I like it.
Pittsburgh did it. Pittsburgh got the Super Bowl 4 times, 2 times in 5 years.
Yes.
I can't complain. We did the first many times.
Respect.
So let them, if they got to get theirs, that's great until we get a chance to beat them and knock them off their perch. That'd be great. Let them have their fun for now.
Talk that talk. I'm with you on that. Hey, Bro Barry, as always, I appreciate you rocking with me, man, and taking time to join the show, man. Wish you nothing but the best and have a great weekend too, baby.
And to you too, and God bless you all, Steelers fans. Y'all take care. It's good seeing y'all and good hearing y'all.
Hey, there it is. Shout out to the Bro Barry right there, man. Like I said, phone lines are open. You already know the digits to dial. So let me make sure I say them again just in case you forgot. Oh, nope, somebody called it. Talk to me, baby. Who we on the hotline with?
How's it going, Moats? This is JJ.
Oh, I couldn't hear you. Say it again, though.
1 second. Hey, this is JJ.
Hey, yes, indeed.
I'm from Newark, PA.
Let's go, man. How are you doing, JJ? What's the word with you, baby? What's the word with you?
I'm pretty good. I'm really good. This is my first time.
Heck yeah, I know.
Online with you guys. Been watching you guys for a couple of years, but
let's go.
Finally got the time.
Let's go.
I love it.
No, respect on that, man. I'm glad you've been rocking out the way that you've been doing it, man. So, with that being the case, I gotta ask you then. How you handling QB1? What are you doing? Is it Fields? Is it Russ? Or is it other?
I'm not going to lie. I did not want Fields to lead the line. Once Russ got healthy.
Okay.
I forget what game was that. What week was that?
That was what, 6, right? Week 6? Yeah, because Fields got the first 6 in. Yeah, he got the first 6 in. Yeah.
Against the Commanders, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I was pressed. I mean, but at the same time, Russ did really good for the first few weeks.
Yeah.
Until after Cincinnati, that's when stuff stuff started going downhill.
Mm-hmm.
That's when all these reports started coming out. And now, since it's the offseason and the Steelers struggle the past 5 games, I hear reports of Arthur Smith and Russ going at it.
You heard it, right?
And not being able to change it. That's crazy.
Yeah, when I was like, oh Lord, this is what happens when you lose, man. All the behind the scenes start to become public out here. But what if that was the case though? What if Arthur Smith was limiting, Russ's ability to make certain checks? Would that change your opinion about, what you saw at the end of the year, or would you still kind of feel how you feel?
Nah, it's time for him to go, man.
Okay.
It's time for him to hang it up.
Okay.
Hang it up.
Okay. So are you turning the keys over to Fields? Then you gonna keep with that, or is there any other option that you would have wanted? Because we know it's a Jalen Milroe in the draft, we know it's a Will Howard in the draft. Or you a guy that's like, yo, I'll trade the house to go get Cam Ward or get a Shador. Like, yeah. Like we don't have to just sit with the Justin Fields part now,
No, not just see. I like Jalen Milroe. I think he's just another Justin Fields, just not as much experience.
Yeah.
So if we stick with Justin Fields, I wouldn't say draft Jalen Milroe. I don't think that really makes sense.
Okay.
I would I like Jameis Winston as a backup. I think he'll bring light and a lot of energy towards the offense.
Okay. Jameis, man, pregame speeches on 1,000 with Jameis. Oh man.
But see, the thing is with me on Fields, like obviously it didn't work out in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, we only got a 6-game sample size with him, and for that time being, he was asked to game manage.
Yeah, very true.
So I feel as though if we bring Fields back on like a cheap deal, we give him the benefit of the doubt, let him have full control of the offense, and see if he can reach his potential or not. I don't think it's a loss. Regardless, so say if he's not the answer, then you can draft somebody else, bring somebody else in. But I just want to at least, I think we should give him the chance to just have full control of the offense. Give him a chance and
let him drive the car.
Him.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay. I do like that Jameis bringing him in, because now I got a veteran behind him as well, man. And if anything went tragic, at least, all right, this could be exciting for a couple of weeks until it crashes and burns, right? So I do like your energy on that. I definitely like your energy on that, JJ. Out of York, PA, first time calling in. Salute to you. All right, well, the final question I have for you. Who you got winning this Super Bowl this weekend, man? You got the 3-peat versus, let me get it back in the rematch. How we doing? Is it a Chiefs? Is it an Eagle? What we on?
This is tough because the Eagles look really unstoppable right now with Saquon Barkley.
Saquon. It's a bird. It's a plane. Saquon, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Come on, bro.
The game against the Commanders was just crazy.
The first touch.
The first shot.
First touch. You're like, how? You planned all week to stop this guy. The first play he does that? Like, oh, man.
And then on the other side, you got Patrick Mahomes, which he's a winner in the playoffs. This is his 3rd time reaching the Super Bowl in a row. See, me personally, I'm gonna stay away from the win. See, I'm a gambler, so I'm gonna take the spread. I'm gonna take the spread. I have no idea who's gonna win.
So you'll take the spread.
I'm gonna sprinkle a little Eagles plus 7.5.
Ooh, okay. Hedge your bet a little bit. You can't go wrong like that either. I like your energy. Right there. Let's go.
But if a gun was to my head, the team I would pick, I'm just gonna go with the Chiefs, man. Just Patrick Mahomes. I can't.
It's hard to pick against him, right?
Yeah, I can't.
I mean, it is Mahomes. It's not a bad pick. I mean, he's been in the league 8 years, 7 years, and it's been 7 in a row and going on. You're just like, yo, how do you just keep winning? You just keep doing this, and the only dude to beat you on this stage is Brady. Yeah.
So who was your pick?
Man, so for me, man, I'm torn, man. I'm honestly back and forth with it. I think the deciding factor is going to be Saquon. If Saquon can get going running wise, I think Philly wins. If Spagnuolo and that Chiefs defense can minimize Saquon, I think the Chiefs win. To me, Chiefs history is they don't allow 100-yard rushes, especially in the playoffs. It's been, I think 2018 was last time that happened. I haven't seen Mahomes have a bad playoff game. And unfortunately for my alumni status in Buffalo, I've seen this playoff version of Mahomes a little bit too many times. Just be Houdini, find a way when I think there is no other way. So I have to go with that until I see otherwise. Even though I think Philly has the more complete team, I think Philly is the more physical team. I think Philly has the trenches dominated in terms of O-line and especially when we're talking the Eagles D-line in comparison to the Chiefs offense line, the Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, that's the big reason why the Commanders struggle so much, man. They couldn't block them dudes up front. Then Nolan Smith got going as a pass rusher. If they're doing that up front, that changes a lot. But Mahomes is Mahomes, man. So until I see him play bad, I got to roll with him, you know?
But they got Chris Jones on the other side.
Yeah,
that's I'm really antsy about.
He always show up in the big games. I'm a fan of Chris Jones, too, because he wears his emotion. You see him crying as soon as the national anthem starts. Yeah. It's so gangster to me. It's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm watching Nino Brown in New Jack City. The tear just dropped. I'm like, oh, baby, he about to go get off on something. Let's go, man. Like, it's just, that's one of my things. Like, I'm a big fan of that with him, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Hey, no, without a doubt, JJ, man. Appreciate you again for rocking with the show, baby. All right? Have a good weekend out there, too, man.
Yes, sir. God bless. Thank you. You too.
Let's get it. Let's get it, man. Shout out to the gang. Shout out to JJ right there taking some time to jump on the call. Man, make sure I don't get the cords too close together now. There we go. All right, phone lines are still open, man. The digits to dial are 412-346-6955. 412-346-6955. All righty. All right. Oh, here we go. Talk to me. Who I'm on the hotline with, baby?
What's up, Moats?
Hey, you got me? Can you hear me? You got me?
Oh, yeah. You can hear me?
Yeah, I got you now. There it is. How art thou?
You already know this your boy Noriega.
Hey, come on, man. I already know what the voice is, man. Don't play with me like that. What's the word with you, though, baby?
All is well, bro.
Man,
I'm
let's
chilling, man.
go.
I hope all is well.
Man, I can't complain. Just vibing out, man. Hoping to have a little bit more chill weekend this weekend than last weekend. You feel me? So, yeah, other than that, though, these are good. But talk to me. We got to talk this QB situation. You resting it? You feels in it? Like what? Talk, you know what I mean?
You know I'm a feels guy.
I know, but is that just because this is what we had? Is that just because this is what we have, or is that just in general? This is your guy.
Well, I'm gonna hit you with something that you probably ain't gonna think I hit you with. Like I'm cool with with keeping Russ if they draft a good quarterback, like not like a Tyler Sloak or one of them guys.
You talking to Will? You're talking to Will Howard, the Jalen Milroe, the Jackson Dart, those type of dudes, right?
Yeah, you're gonna draft one of them guys. I feel like Russell Wilson is the perfect person to have in the room if you're gonna draft a rookie.
Okay.
If you're not gonna draft a rookie, I feel like Justin Fields should be the starter. You go out and get a guy like Josh Dobbs or
shout out to Dobbs,
back him up.
Okay.
Because I don't think Skylar Thompson is a 2. So go find you a good 2 to back him up, like a Daniel Jones.
Noriega, you spitting over there, Noriega. You spitting over there now. Keep going. I like how you doing it.
Yeah. But I'm not really a big Russ fan. Never have, even before he came to Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't be mad at them bringing Russ back if they're going to plan on drafting a quarterback.
No, respect on that, and I like that approach. I mean, it's funny you said you weren't a big Russ guy. I wasn't either. I just respect the production, and I think that's the thing. And
I feel you.
You know what I mean? It's like I don't all the way like the style, but it's like, man, the production is the production, and when you see it at multiple spots, it's like, man, I can't just minimize it and just assume that anybody can do that, because the stats show that not everybody can do what he does. So that's the thing that had me leaning on. But I like that approach of still drafting high pedigree quarterback to come in, that we are saying, yo, you are the future. Your job is to learn everything that you can learn from Russ. Russ, your job is to teach this dude everything that he needs to know in terms of how to watch the film, in terms of, mentally preparing for a game week, how to take care of his body, all of those different things. Like, I want to see that. You heard in the interview with Ben DiNucci earlier, he kind of talked about, when you're able to be around some of these guys, some of these bigger name quarterbacks that have proven it and have already done it, it helps you out a lot. It shows you certain things that you necessarily wouldn't know. So I do like that, man. Shout out to you on that one right there, Noriega. Heck yeah.
Oh yeah, man. And if they're gonna keep Fields, go get you a O'Connell or a Minshew to back him up, because you need someone to back him up that's gonna be able to keep you on the same floor as he is. So I'm all for that, because at the end of the day, Russ is a vet, or any young guy, if they want to learn, they can learn from a Russell Wilson.
Yeah, very
I don't think they can pretty much learn from Justin. Justin been in some fucked up situations with offensive coordinators and head coaches, so he's still trying to learn.
He's still trying to figure out.
That's what he was doing last year.
He came from a battered situation, man.
And that's why I want to have a chance, though.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, most that's the only reason I really want Pittsburgh to give him a chance.
I respect on that.
He's been in some fucked up situations.
That's real. That's real.
He wasn't that good in college, and he just became a bust.
Yeah.
So I think he just really need a fair chance.
Yeah.
Shit, we got to make Big Ben the quarterback coach, bro, to groom him like anything.
Somebody, right? Oh, I'm with you on that, man.
Right.
But no, I think you spend some time with him, man.
Though,
but no, I like that, and I'm open to either side of what you're spitting right there. Honestly, man, I think if you do keep Fields, man, it does give him a chance to have some more stability. And a lot of times, man, that's one of the things that I've always preached, because I was in a Buffalo situation where we didn't have stability. Every year, you're learning a different playbook. You're learning a different coaching staff. It's a different messaging. Then I remember being in Pittsburgh where it was the exact same coach, the exact same messaging for those same 4 years, and just how different it felt as an individual, as a player, how confident I felt being out there, because I knew all the little things and what my coach was expecting and how he was going to communicate with me and vice versa. Is way you would much rather be in that scenario as an athlete than in the unknown of, what does this new guy want? All right, what does this guy want now? So you're constantly trying to adapt your style of play to these coordinators, but the problem is you're the one getting the evaluations way harder than these coordinators. And that's the thing, when we look at Fields, we're like, all right, well, do you not know how to read a defense, or are you not, disciplined in terms of your footwork? Were you asked to do these things? Are you just limited to RPO? Like, those are some of the questions that we have, because we haven't seen him be with the same guy and kind of grow together. So I do get what you're saying, man. I definitely get what you're saying, Noriega.
And before I go, Moats, if they don't bring down one of them back, I want Sam Darnold, bro.
Ooh.
Or hit Tampa up and see if they want to get off of Baker.
I don't think Tampa's moving on from Baker just yet. I don't think they're doing that. I think that because for them, they had Brady, they won a championship. Now Baker has kept them relevant. They got their ring. Right. Now they got relevancy in between time. Whereas if you move on from Baker, now you're hoping that the draft works your favor. I like the Sam Darnold element of it. I just don't know how expensive it is going to be. I don't want to pay Sam $35-40 million. I'm like, yo, it's Sam.
What you think about
Darnold
reaching out and see who they want to get off of JJ?
It's interesting.
Because they're going to keep Sam Darnold.
It is interesting. This is my only issue. I wasn't in on JJ, so I didn't get a chance to get confirmation one way or the other. So for me to go trade for him and I haven't seen him, this is kind of like, yo, I didn't want to draft him in the first round either. I think he's a good player. I just don't know if he's first round, like force multiplier good. But I think he is good. So I haven't seen it at this level. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. The Joe Milton part, I think, is interesting. Joe Milton is definitely interesting, man, in terms of the 6'5", 246, has all the same, like, freaky characteristics about his game. That is very intriguing.
Do you think we have the people in place to groom them type of guy? That's another thing.
I think if Russ is here, yes. I think if Russ is here, yes, because as a player, yes, your coach is going to matter. Your coach helps you out a lot. But at the same time, I need to see the guy. I need to see what it looks like. And if I got the guy that is the guy in front of me and he can do all this stuff, that's going to make my game better. I think of when I was in Buffalo, we didn't at the time have that guy. So I would look at tape of James Harrison and Clay Matthews, right? I was like, yo, who are 6 foot and under pass rushers that, win in a multitude of ways? Then from there, when I got a chance to get to Pittsburgh and I'm here with Debo every single day, it was dope that Pease was my coach because that's another guy that can talk it on a level, but at that stage he wasn't playing anymore. But my ability to work hand to hand with Debo every single day was why my game and why I as an individual player had a big uptick as a whole professionally. And to me, I think Russ gives you that. I think if Russ is here, those young quarterbacks, man, they're going to get a chance to see what that looks like, to be around it every single day. Those informal conversations, man. You in the cafeteria, hey, bro, how'd you see this? Man, I saw this. You're like, oh, really? Dang, I ain't never think of it like that. But for those guys, it's just second nature. So that's the thing for me where I'm like, yo, I think Russ being there is a huge asset, especially if you're bringing in one of those younger guys.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Mo.
Hey, you already know it's all love, man. But hey, before you get up out of here, who you got winning on Sunday, man? Who you got? Chiefs, Eagles? What's the energy, baby?
I got the Eagles.
Ooh,
The
okay.
Chiefs can't win. I don't want them to win.
Okay. Respect on that.
This
then.
is my first time ever going against an AFC team Super Bowl.
All right. You crazy going against Mahomes though, man. I can't do that yet. I need to see it. I got to see him take the L. Then I'll go against him. I need to see it though.
I don't really want to go against him, but I just don't want to see him win.
No, respect on that. I'm like, yeah, that's the boogeyman right now, bro. He done kicked my head too many times in this postseason. That just like I don't want no parts of it, man. Just go ahead, do it again. I done seen it already. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
Hey, man, appreciate you as always, though, man. Stay safe out there. Have a great weekend too, baby.
You too, bro. Have a blessed one, bro.
Hey, appreciate you, dog. Peace. Shout out right there to Noriega, man. Always good to talk to the team, talk to the game right there. All right, man. We're going to do one more phone call before we get up out of here. The digits to dial 412-346-6955. Once again, the digits to dial are, oh, hey now. Talk to me, baby. Who are we on the hotline with?
Hey, Moats, this is Gregory Collins out of Newport Richie.
Man, what's the word? Gregory Collins out of Newport Richie, Florida. Yeah, man. What's the word with you?
Hey, nothing much. If you hear screaming in the background, it's my oldest son. We just pulled him inside, and he's not happy about it.
Hey. Respect to that dad life out there, though, man. Salute to you, man. Salute to you. Let's get it. So since you are in your parent vibes, we're going to put you in your GM vibes, all right? So get your general manager hat on. You're Omar Khan now, all right? It's decision time. Who's my QB? I need QB1. What's the plan for 2025?
Look. This is how I feel about it, personally. So if I'm trying to be a realist, of course, I'm always Pittsburgh to the Super Bowl every year.
Hey, come on now.
But if I'm trying to be real, I feel like it should be Justin. Partly it's a bias. I'm an Ohio State guy.
Okay.
I watched them.
Yeah.
I grew IO.
Okay.
You know what it is.
Okay.
But with me, I think the thing is like I like the way that the offensive line is being built up. I see the way that influence is being put in, and I see the growth. But I think with Russ, although I think he does have the better arm talent right now,
yeah,
I think with the way the offensive line is going, we got Broderick, who's a real athletic guy.
Yes, very
Corey, who's a real athletic guy.
Yeah,
you got a lot of athletic dudes on the line. And I think with the way that Arthur Smith's game plan is, and the way the line is, I think Justin just fits it better.
Okay,
in my opinion.
No, I mean, I see what you're saying though. With that though, I mean, that was the thing that makes Fields unique, and that is the one thing that not a lot of guys have. That he can make you miss. Yeah. He can make your offensive line right, even if they are wrong. That's that type of guy right there. You as a pass rusher, it's fun to go against that, and you hate it at the same time because you can win your rush, and he can just step around you and go for 30 yards, and it doesn't matter.
Exactly. And the thing that I have on top of that, like the way that I see it is, I think, again, like I said, I'm an Ohio State guy, so I'm a little biased here. But I think if you can pick up a Travion Henderson.
Ooh, okay. I like his game. I like it.
Because with him, his big thing is he fits technically into the scheme.
Yeah.
Where I could see him fitting in the outside zone.
Okay.
But I think the number one play that people might forget in that national championship that I think after watching him for 4 years, like I think exemplifies him is that go-ahead touchdown. Will Howard in the pocket, starts to collapse. The pressure gets to him. Steps up in the scramble drill, hits him, and he just 1 foot down, vertical speed, outran everybody.
When he gets north and south, he's gone. He's out of there. Facts.
And I feel like he's got that build where how we talked about Najee with that that big build, that bigger build.
Being that physical presence.
Tall. He's a bigger back though. So the other thing about him is he's not easy to bring down. I've watched a lot of times where he takes a first hit at the line of scrimmage, turn to the 5-6 yards.
See, that's what you like to see right there. Absolutely. I like that approach.
Now, I do also have to say, again I don't understand. I see a lot of people in the chat, and I get the questions about Will Howard. That man is a dog.
That's what I'm saying. I like what I saw from him, man. I'm like, bro, what am I missing? Why aren't people excited about Will Howard? He just took it to win the Natty on top of it and played well. Like, what am I missing, man?
I'm telling you, he went 15-15 in the first half.
It was perfect on the biggest stage, the biggest game. And this is versus the best team because we talk about this, the 12-team playoff. So we know it was very different when you got to that national championship compared to any other previous national championship games, man.
And the thing about it too with that run, I know I'm kind of dragging it a little bit, but you got to see the quality of opponent he went through. He didn't go through a bunch of scrums. He went through 2 SEC teams and the number 1 team.
We had Oregon.
They put belt. They put belt on him.
Big facts. Facts.
And the thing with him is a lot. I mean, if people are going to get on his arm talent, I think he's going to be a high riser in the draft. So I don't know if we're able to do that, but if he still floats around the third, I think that's a good pickup.
Nah, respect on that. Yeah, you speak about language. I like him, man. I'm like, I think he got good touch on the ball, man.
And the thing with him, people like this. I heard some people talking about he doesn't have that dog. I watched him with that new coach that went to Indiana. He previously had offered. Before he went to Indiana, he offered Will Howard a scholarship. He then later when he's going through high school, he had a little bit of an injury. And he pulled that from Will Howard. And so when you watch that interview,
it was personal.
And they were talking about how do you feel about Will Howard and this team? And you guys have this undefeated record. The coach's response was, Google me.
Yeah, Sick Daddy.
We watched Will Howard.
That's my guy.
We watched Will Howard put a 30-piece on his head. This guy came went over to Will Howard, and he could have said anything. He looked at that camera and said, Google that. Google that.
Man. I did not know that backstory. Oh, man. That makes a lot of sense now. Yeah, that makes sense. Dang,
he's got dog written all over him.
Hey, I like that. That's that context we need because, like you said, not all of us are diehard fans of certain universities. So when we do get people that have watched it, that have been around it, it's like it is cool to hear some of that information, man. Because that's all we're doing, man. We just taking all the information that we can gather from everybody, credible, different degrees, and then from there you formulate it and you make a decision on these players, man. So, salute to you on that, Gregory Collins out of Newport Richey, Florida. Let's get it, man. Well, shoot,
let's get it.
I gotta ask you the last name before we get up out of here. Who you got winning the Super Bowl? You Chiefs up in there for the 3-peat, or we getting that Kelly Green Eagles out here now?
So I thought about this. I thought about this a lot over the past week. I have to say the Eagles. I got the Eagles winning. And it all came down to this. Patrick Mahomes, which I think is funny because everyone hated on the Patriots and then the Chiefs beating them. Now the Chiefs are on this dynasty run and now everyone hates them.
Yep, you know how it goes.
Bills? I'm not saying is it Josh Allen? I don't know, but
look, I'm just hoping for an MVP soon. All right, just let me see what my nighttime look like. All right, jeez.
I'm all right with that. Someone else thought to win it except for Lamar. We can't have a 3-peat Lamar.
I'm like, can't get 3 of them days, man. Come on, man. Stop the violence.
I like the thing that I like about it is I think Saquon. We always talk about teams like they're a quarterback away. I think the Eagles were kind of a running back away.
Because they had the passing game on lock.
Yeah.
They had the passing game good, but they were bouncing around a lot at, the running back
between
position.
the DeAndre
over the past
Swifts of the
couple
world.
years.
Yeah, it was a couple different guys they went through, man.
That little short cap Boston Scott was in
Boston
there.
Scott was in there. You're right about that. I forgot about Boston. Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, and so I think that's what kind of puts them over the list.
Yeah.
But also, the one thing of all NFL fans knows, history don't lie. There's never been a three-peat. The Steelers back then went one after the other, missed one.
Yeah.
Then
And they
one
went
after
back.
the other.
Yeah.
Tom Brady and the Patriots never had a three-peat. They had an undefeated season, and Eli ruined it.
Okay. Hey, look, Eli. Come on, man. It's Eli.
Hey. Arch is better. He said he was faster. That's all I needed to hear.
Hey, look, if you faster than him, man, you got the rest of it. We definitely got the rest of it.
Rest of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think between the running game and the Georgia Bulldogs defense that they have, and just the running game, I think it's going to be close. I think this game. I'm not saying it's going to go into overtime because Lord help us if it goes to overtime. I think it'll be a close one, but I think the Eagles pull it out.
All right, I like it there. Well, Gregory Collins, you make sure you enjoy your weekend, and all right, and keep doing that dad life, man. All right, I like what you're doing. All right, keep it going, baby, keep it going. But appreciate you as always rocking with the show too, man.
Oh no, thank you. I got my baby sleeping. My youngest one sleeping on me right now.
Let's go, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to hear right there, baby. Appreciate you again.
Hey, you too.
All right, peace. All righty. Shout out to the phone lines, man. If y'all were enjoying the phone lines, man, and the convos that were had by the homie, the Bro-Barian, JJ out of York, PA, the homie Noriega, and we can't forget Gregory Collins out of Newport Richey, Florida. Make sure you hit that like button one time for the coach and subscribe if you are new to the channel. All righty. Got a couple of supers that are in, and then after that, we'll call it a night. All right. Shout out to y'all, though. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all rock with me, though. From the heart. All right. Let's see. Who do we have? Tons of fun says 3 in a row, and we still effing up. No. 3 in a row is hard, man. 3 in a row is hard. But also at the same time, though, got to keep it going. The evolution, right? Because, you with him and then you don't go back. Then we over here looking like, hey, bro, it's been too long since last time you won one. It's been too long since last time you done that. So, yeah. And shout out to David Decker, man. He said he almost got 3. Hey, look, it's going to happen eventually, all right? We're going to get you back off. It's going to happen, all right? But like I said, going forward on Thursdays, okay? Anytime it's a Thursday show, the phone lines are going to be open. You know why? Because I'm in control of it, all right? So I'm telling you today, I'm telling you now, man, when I do Thursday shows, those are the shows that the phone line gets open, all right? Like I said, we had the interview with Ben DiNucci, so that was why, obviously we ain't have them open longer. But, that's going to be the thing, man. I want to keep the show interactive, man. All right. Obviously, I got plenty of time where I'm going to get my solo content off, man. I'm going to get the chance to talk for me. But that's why I'm calling the homie TG on occasion, man. Because, hey, man, talk. Let me get your thoughts. How do you feel? Let me bounce this off of your head. You bounce it back off of mine. And the same with you guys, because your opinion does matter. All right. It's a different perspective on it, and it does matter. So shout out to y'all on that. All right. The last one, the homie, the Bro-Barian, spinning the block. He says, you're right about Will Howard. I'm just hesitant of us getting him. Respect on that. Respect. Will Howard, like I said, man, he's a very intriguing player, especially with the way that his college career ended. Going to the Natty, man, winning it, and you look at the road that he had to travel in terms of the teams he had to beat. Yeah, impressive, man. To me, I like him a lot, man. I don't think he's a guy that we should just, oh, man, we ain't worried about Will. No. Hey, man, keep eye on it, and if it's at the right spot, don't let it fall anywhere in the draft. Don't let that happen. Now you really start asking questions. Oh. Because whoever it is at quarterback, whether it is Russ or Fields, especially if it's Russ, you're going to want to draft a young guy. And I think that that's something that, to me, he definitely fits that mold of what we could potentially want to bring in here, man. So we will see. We shall see. But Shout out to each and every one of y'all, though, rocking with me this week, man, rocking with the show today, man. Obviously, like I said, man, we're going through some changes, right? The homie Deke, man, he's, venturing out, man, spreading his wings. We're in full support of the movement, though, man. There's never any ill will. How can I have issues with the homie? That's the homie Deke, bro. So with that, though, man, we want to see him continue to grow, man. But with that, it does mean that, yeah, this looks a little bit different. So it will be more solo content, man. But on Mondays and Wednesdays, the homie TG, 9 p.m. is when he calls in, man. We talked to him for an hour on both of those names, man. It's always a blast. And then, like I said, on Thursdays, man, during the offseason, try to get a guest in, when we can. But worst case, we definitely know season hit, man. That's always still a guest active dude each and every week, man. So we're going to keep that thing rolling. But we got plenty of time to discuss all of that. Because like I said, man, we got all this content that still got to get dropped, man, between free agency, the draft, and everything in between. So hopefully y'all enjoyed it. And like I said, if you did, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Stay safe out there. Have a great weekend. And until next time, baby, peace.